What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in. Happy to have you guys here today. Welcome to the Poly Politics Show. Welcome to the Poly Politics Show. I'm your host. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. Got to give some shout outs to my wonderful members I see over here in the chat already. Got some wonderful members in the chat already. I see DCJ, I see Tracy, I see Corey, I see Carolyn, I see Ogden. Hope all of y'all are absolutely wonderful and doing great today. I see Myth and Denise over there too, over in TikTok land. I appreciate y'all. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday. I hope you guys are over here having a wonderful Thursday. Ryan, what's going on, brother? It is a Thursday. You know, I almost canceled tonight. I got real close to canceling tonight. All right. I got real close to canceling tonight because, well, honestly, Ari and I both have tomorrow off. And I was like, you know what? We're going to cancel tonight. We're going to go do something else. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be here for y'all. I'm going to be here for y'all. I just decided that. Yeah. I can't be a quitter, okay? I can't make it look like I got fired like Pam Bondi, okay? Dory, I see you over there too. When will gas prices go down? Well, Pam Bondi's fired, so I'm sure like any day. Hey, what's going on, Dax? How you doing? I'm sure like any day. I'm pretty sure Pam Bondi was the person is the person that was keeping gas prices high. All right. I'm pretty sure that's what was happening. I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure Pam Bondi was the reason the gas prices were high. It was either that or it was or either that or if it was the Dow. I'm not sure. The Dow. Is that 50,000? So now that she's gone, I'm sure Todd Blanche will immediately, first thing on his list is to bring gas prices down. The guy who said, you know, being friends with Epstein isn't a crime. Quote unquote, by the way. Hey, what's going on, Truth? How you guys doing? And me too, I see you over there. And Dax. The guy who said, you know, being friends with Epstein isn't a crime, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's your new replacement, all right? So if you were like, man, I bet you, because I know all of you guys were out there, right? All of you guys out there were like, you know what? Knowing Donald Trump, hey, Shannon, thank you so much. Knowing Donald Trump, I bet you that he's going to replace Pam Bondi with somebody even better. And I know all you guys out there, were like, you know what? Donald Trump, he's just in all of his brightness and intelligence. He's going to replace Cam Bondi with somebody just, you know, top tier, you know? Somebody who really knows the law, somebody who really, you know, will stand up for things like the Constitution and the rule of law. I think it's going to be Ken Paxton, honestly, which, to be completely honest with you, if he replaces Pam Bondi with Ken Paxton, that is truly, I would have rather stayed with Pam Bondi. and that's not that. That is definitely a devil we know versus a devil we don't. You know what I'm saying? Mons, can you just remove Jalen out of my chat? I bring up guests when I'm ready, not when Jalen's ready, and he can go excuse himself, okay? You can just get rid of him for the day. All right? If Jalen can't be patient enough to wait for me to open up the guest box, then he can excuse himself from my live for the rest of the day. That's fine. See, this is why I stopped debating TikTok guests. Is the exact reason, because a bunch of them get in the chat and they think they're owed something. They think that this is their space and they can just tell me when they're going to start bringing up, when they're going to start, I'm going to start taking guests. All right. They need to learn who the boss is over here. Okay. Their parents didn't teach them any respect, so I have to. Okay. Also, I watched a funny video about how many Jalens there are in the NBA and how disproportionate it is. It's really funny. Anyways, sorry, that's completely off subject. But yeah, I think he's going to replace him with Kim Paxton. And Kim Paxton is by far, I believe, worse, to be completely honest with you. At least Pam Bondi, she was just gonna go up and yell about the Dow. She was gonna yell about the Dow. I can handle that. Have y'all thanked Donald Trump today? That's the question. All right. Have y'all thanked Donald Trump today? Have y'all thanked him? Someone said Paxton won't survive confirmation, as if this Congress gives a shit about whether someone's qualified in order to confirm them. Is that a joke? Mrs. Shoot Your Puppies was in charge of DHS. You think they care? Y'all, as you guys are coming in, please come in and hit that like button. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much. For the people that are trying to get into the live and call in or join the guest request box, just give me another minute or so and we will open up these things and we'll keep this thing going, okay? So if you guys are calling in right now, just give me a call back in a minute or so and we can have a conversation. Sorry, I have to get the live going a little bit, talk about some fun stuff before I let you guys in, but I promise I will get directly to you guys, okay? Unless your name is Jalen, then I don't want to talk to you. If you guys like to support the live, please make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Of course, I have all the accoutrements, super chats, super stickers, live gift goals, pay links in the bio, you name it, I got it. If you'd like support, you can. And if you don't like support, remember liking is free. So that's always cool too. All right. Liking is free. Hopefully we don't have any weird technical issues like we had yesterday, because yesterday I just had a whole camera just go down on me and I had to come back. It was rough. Shout out to Flexin and Jen and Norbert, old members that are in here now. So I want to say hi to them. And I think I flashed Shannon up there. Shannon, thank you so much for being here. And Jimmy, I saw you over there too. So just want to make sure I may say hi. Oh, Angelinator too. Got to make sure I say hi over there. Trying to catch all the members as they're coming in. So if I miss you, I'm sorry. But let's see who we got over here. All right. Old members that are in here now. Hello. All right. Well, I know you had the live on in the background because I could hear you. Hello. How are you? Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
My bad. Good. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
31.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, I support his use of the presidency. I do 100%.
His use of the presidency. Can you please explain what you mean by that?
Constitutionally duly elected official to a specific position in government.
No, I know what the president is. You said the way he's using it, and that's the part I'm confused about.
Yeah. He has a full authority and constitutional right over the federal government. Therefore, I respect and I understand, and really the way he's using it is very smart in terms of the United States citizen. In terms of
I'm sorry, hold on. You just said he has full rights over the federal government, because that's not true nor constitutional.
Well, Federal Reserve, the federal government has the full jurisdiction to define the monetary system. So yes, technically he has the purses. He can, well, the Senate does, but in technicality, yes. Constitutionally, the federal government has the rights and the authority to define and use a monetary system. So technically speaking,
to define and use it, but you said he had full control over it, and that's not true. Actually, the exact opposite. Actually, legally and freaking constitutionally, it's actually specifically defined where he has separation from that.
I'm apologizing to you.
Okay? That's fine, sir. I'm still going to finish my point.
Yeah.
I just want to say he has the ability to appoint things like the Fed chair, so it does give a mix. The Federal Reserve is mixed, right? It's part civilian control, part military control, and that's perfectly true. But how is he using it to the advantage of the American citizen? Because so far, all he's done is pretty much not allowed the Fed to lower interest rates.
Well, once you are, as a U.S. citizen, understanding of the fact that the financial system we use every day is a privilege, the way the federal government treats and uses it and how they handle the influence of it is very, very, very important. And how it has been treated the past 60 years. Hold on, let me finish. How it has been
I was just
used
agreeing with you mid-sentence. You can continue.
Hold on.
I wasn't stopping you, sir. Stop whining. I was just saying I agree mid-sentence.
For the past 60 years, how it's been influenced politically. It's been used against the U.S. citizen on both sides of the aisle.
And it still is.
So regardless of political affiliation, I just want everyone to come to an agreement that regardless of who you vote for, it's still being abused.
Yeah, so that's not anything to do with the support of Trump, sir. I asked you if you supported Trump and why, not whether you believe the financial system is being abused.
So the reason why I support him is because he's doing exactly what a lot of other people would do in terms of the knowledge of how global affairs have been handled. If you followed the past 50 years or so, technological advances and how our country has gained those advances, there's a lot of policy implementations when it comes to global trade. And one of our biggest technological traders in the 70s was, can you tell me who it was?
No, sir, I cannot read your mind on which one of the companies or countries you're talking about that was a big technological trader. No.
As a Trump voter, one thing I will agree with Democrats on is we need to get rid of Israel's alliance because they were our biggest technological trader in the 70s. They were the country that invented the chip.
Sir, what does this have to do with Donald Trump?
Our government made that deal. Religiously separate religion from state and church, right?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be you're not supposed to be influenced by a country based on a religion. And that's what's been accruing on both sides of the aisle.
It's happening right now.
I'd say 50. Correct. But it's
then what does this have to do with Donald Trump? Why do you support Donald Trump?
He's broke from the mold.
He's literally in the middle of the mold. Like literally everything that you're saying has been happening for 50, 70 years. Donald Trump is doing all of that. You're literally describing the mold. You're literally saying Donald Trump is doing the mold that has been happening for the last 50 years and then saying you support Donald Trump because he's outside of that mold. What are you talking about? It sounds like you're just reading a script and not responding to anything that I'm actually saying.
Are you okay, dude?
Are you okay? I'm trying to have a conversation with you and you're not responding to anything I'm saying. And so I'm trying to make sure you have the ability to comprehend it. Because what it sounds like is that you have some very, very strong feelings towards the financial system in the United States. And I have no issue with that. I have some very strong feelings about the financial institutions, the way that we spend our money, the way that we handle money in the United States also. I have some huge problems with that. But none of that, okay, is defining why you support Donald Trump, okay? Like I asked you why you support Donald Trump and you're like, well, Israel was a big technological, the largest technological, supporter of the United States in the 1970s, and we got to get away from that. And I'm like, but Donald Trump's still doing that, and you're like, yeah.
Do you know that Israel's pulling out of our financial system in 10 years? Have
does that have to do
that?
with your support? I'm only going to do this so long, sir. Really. I'm almost at the end of my wits right now, to be completely honest with you.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you here.
You're trying to have a conversation with me. That is correct. You're just not trying to have a conversation that I'm willing to engage with. You're trying to have a conversation that's about something completely different.
Conversation with you.
All right, sir. Well, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite Justin Bieber album?
What?
Of all the Justin Bieber albums, which one's your favorite one?
Out of all the pieces of legislation that
out of all the Justin Bieber albums, which one is your favorite one, sir? I don't like really the early ones, to be completely honest with you. Like I prefer like later Justin Bieber when he was like less poppy, more like hip hop, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he really fell off a cliff, but that's what happens to child stars, you know what I'm saying? So
you are what accrues when privilege is.
Okay. So now we get to the point where you're muted, okay? Because even now, you're not engaging in a conversation with me. Okay? Even now, you're not engaging with in a conversation with me, okay? So, tell me one thing that Donald Trump has done in this term that you support. Go.
We no longer rely on oil.
All right, y'all. Yep, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Swag album was pretty fire. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to keep this thing going. Dude, I'm pretty sure he was just reading a script. Like, none of what he said actually engaged in anything that we were talking about. Anything. It's actually almost impressive. Even when I started talking about Justin Bieber, he might have been AI, to be completely honest with you. There's a decent possibility he was AI. It's a decent possibility he was AI, because that was just a script being read. It didn't matter what I said. That script was gonna be read. All right, y'all, phone lines are back open. We're gonna try to keep this thing going. Dude, he had that script. I'm pretty sure, somebody paid him a lot of money. All right, somebody paid him a lot of money to read that script, and he was gonna read it. No matter what. He was gonna read that script if his life depended on it. Who was that? There was some right-wing influencer that just happened to where they just found out that, like, he was getting paid something like, it was something crazy, like $100,000 an episode to spread Russian propaganda against Ukraine. Tim Pool, was it Tim Pool? Was it Tim Pool? Yeah, Tim Pool. I'm pretty sure, I mean, that guy wasn't getting paid $100,000, but he might have been getting paid like $40 or something. I don't know by who, but he could have been getting paid like $40. Because he was gonna read that script. That dude was gonna read that script. That might have actually been Tim Pool. Yep, that might have actually been it. Yeah, it was like $100,000 an episode. Isn't that crazy? Like, why can't someone pay me $100,000 an episode to say some like good shit? You know what I'm saying? If Ukraine wants to pay me $100,000, I'll do some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'll say some shit. Or like $10,000. Honestly, they can give me like $20. Cheap date. Amy, thank you so much for the clock it. Me too. Thank you so much for the gifts. Anonymous, thank you so much for the gifts also. I really appreciate that. Also, Capo, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships over there. Huge W's in the chat for Capo. You know, we're actually getting to the part where memberships are gonna, we're gonna start doing giveaways again. Because memberships are gonna be high enough where we're gonna start doing giveaways again. It's gonna be wild. We're actually going to get there soon. I don't know if we'll be able to do it for super fans because there's not very many, but We're definitely gonna be able to do it for members really, really soon. So we might be doing a drive soon. See if we can get something like that done. That sounds like a lot of fun. Geo, it's wrong. If you're gonna call someone a bad communicator, you should communicate better. Okay? Just a little bit for later. Yeah, if you're gonna call someone a bad communicator, I would advise you learning how to communicate. Okay? Huge up in the chat for Capo for those 10 gifted. I really appreciate that. All right. I'm just saying, when calling someone a bad communicator, learn how to communicate first. Hello, how are you?
Epstein rape niggers.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't know. Learn how to spell. Geo's not doing great. This is why Geo won't call into my show, because Geo knows Geo will get worked. All right, Ogden, thank you so much for the gifted membership also. Geo wanted to let me know also that spelling is different from communicating in the form you do. Good job, Geo. Good job. They're both communicating. Okay.
It's insane.
Yeah, there's different forms of communication. Okay, bud? Aw. Geo's all upsetty spaghetti. Thank you so much, Ogden. Hello, how are you?
Hey, it's Geo.
Oh, it's Geo. Let's see if you're better at communicating this way than you are spelling.
Hopefully so.
I hope for your sake, so also, yeah.
But no.
But no,
I just call in, so thought might as well.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, for the most part.
Awesome. Why is that?
I feel like he's just doing things that other politicians in the past historically have not been able to get done in the action or the manner that he has.
Like what?
I don't agree with all of his rhetoric. For example, like the immigration issue.
How is he getting anything done that any other president hasn't already gotten done, but better?
But better?
Yeah, everything that he's doing with immigration, he's doing less efficiently and with worse numbers than even recent presidents.
And where are you getting that from?
From the statistics from Customs and Border Protection, the statistics from ICE, the statistics from DHS, and all backed up by things like Cato Institute, Pew Research Center, Council for Immigration Studies. Yeah, he's deporting less people for more American tax dollars.
Well, I'm not saying necessarily deportation. I'm just saying dealing with people that are on the streets that aren't legally here, supposed to be here. Deportation is a completely separate process apart from that.
Well, deportation is the legal act that comes with immigration, and you said immigration. Just dealing with people on the streets is a policing action that has nothing to do with immigration.
How so?
How is dealing with people on the streets a policing action and not an immigration action?
Yeah, people are scared. I mean, I would say in general, a lot of people who are not documented are scared to have any kind of interaction due to that fact.
A lot of people that are documented are scared to have any type of interaction to that fact. Donald Trump has overturned the legal status of over 2.5 million immigrants in the United States.
I'm sorry, say that one more time. I couldn't hear you.
Donald Trump has overturned the legal status of over 2.5 million people in the United States. He is currently went to the Supreme Court yesterday, okay, to try to argue that American citizens born in the United States, as legal as you can possibly be, shouldn't be allowed to be here.
Mhm.
He's not scaring undocumented immigrants.
don't
He's
agree with
scaring everybody.
Yeah, and I'm a child of immigrants. So I don't agree with that. So obviously, I don't agree with that part in particular. I don't agree with everything he's doing, but what I see oftentimes in the conversations you have with people is it's kind of like a comparative thing to, okay, what has Trump done to past presidents? And when
That's how we compare. That's how we judge
I
presidents.
I understand the numbers. Say that again?
Yeah, how else would you judge a president than based off of what other presidents have done?
Well, because they're not always in the same situation. I mean, it's pretty relative to how you judge somebody.
But immigration is not one of those ones where they're not in the same situation. There was a bunch of undocumented immigrants in the country under Biden. There was a bunch of undocumented immigrants in the country under Obama. There was a bunch of undocumented immigrants under Bush. This has been happening for decades and decades and decades, where we've had over 10 million, undocumented immigrants in the country. So this isn't something where he's in a different situation. He's in the same situation, handling it differently. So if I have multiple presidents handling the same situation, but differently, then that's a place for comparison, right? Very different from Donald Trump handling like COVID, where it's impossible to compare that to somebody else, except for other presidents that dealt with COVID or dealt with a pandemic, right?
Sure.
But if you're gonna say that
logic that you just said that about referring to all the studies and stuff and the numbers, then that wouldn't really make sense, right? Because you're saying that he didn't do these things, but now you're saying that he is handling it differently than other presidents. That's kind of a contradictory, no?
No, and I don't even know what you're trying to tell me. He's doing things differently towards the same situation. I'll give you an example. Maybe I'll clear this up, okay? So let me make this easier, okay?
Okay.
Under Obama's administration, there was like 10 million plus undocumented immigrants in the country, okay? Obama deported more people for less money, all right? And did it without building concentration camps or sending people to torture prisons. Okay? So if you're going to tell me that what Donald Trump is doing is what other presidents weren't able to do, okay, because I mean, that's what you're saying, right? That was your initial statement, was that Donald Trump is able to do things that other presidents weren't able to do. So therefore I automatically have to use a comparison.
Yeah, that was my initial example.
Right. So therefore I have to compare because you're comparing. You're saying his is different than what every other president tried to do. Cool. Got it. So I have to compare. All right, cool. What's he doing? He deported about 600,000 people in his first year in presidency. That's less than Biden did, in 2024. That's less than, most of Obama's years, I'm pretty sure, right? It was more expensive, right? He's building concentration camps in places like Alligator Alcatraz, like Dilley and San Antonio, where over 3,800 children have been sent, including 20 infants, right? He's jailing and apprehending people that are legally here, overturning legal citizenship, said he was going to do the largest mass deportation since the Mexican Repatriation Act, which ended up with over 1 million U.S. citizens being deported. He's sending people to things like CICOT in El Salvador, which has been worldwide known for torture, and he's sending people there that committed no crime, right? So all I can do is compare that, right? And when I see what Donald Trump is doing, what he's doing is less efficient, more dangerous, more inhumane, and worse on the American tax dollar than how any other president has handled it. So I don't understand why I would be in favor of that.
Why you'd be in favor of what specifically? Of him deporting more people that are illegals?
No, he didn't.
Or him,
he deported less people that are illegally here for more American tax dollars.
No, I agree. I agree with your numbers, what you're saying. And of course he hasn't completed his term also. But why is it such a hot button issue if he's deported less people? And that seems to be a big reason why people don't like Trump, at least right now.
Because the deportation isn't the issue.
What is?
What is the issue? That he's building concentration camps, that he's sending people to torture. Hold on. That he's sending people to torture prisons, that he's sending children to these concentration camps. Okay, that he's taking people out of their immigration hearings, people who are doing things the right way, right? People who are being sworn in for their legal residency in the US court system, who have been here for decades trying to do things the right way, and he's ripping them away from their court hearings and sending them back to countries away from their families when they've been like working and learning and being model freaking people in this country, contributing to the US society, okay? He's not going after criminals. He's not going after the worst. He's not going after cartel members, okay? He's not coming over here for people that are trying to do things the wrong way. He's using the IRS. He's using people who are paying their taxes, and he's using that as a way to deport more people.
Well, the part where you say that he's not deporting criminals, that's who they went after first, and that there is numbers behind that. I mean, deportations in general, sure, Obama might have deported more people, or Bush, or prior presidents. But as far as people who are committing crimes, that's the first people that they went after.
Incorrect. Less than 20% of the people that Donald Trump has arrested or deported have a criminal record at all, and less than 3%, actually about 2.7% of those have a violent criminal record. That's worse than most other presidents.
So what is that? But what is that? So it has to be a violent thing for it to be a problem?
I didn't say that, sir. Did you, sir? Listen to the whole sentence. 20% of them had less than 20% had any criminal record at all. Parking tickets, stole a candy bar. Less than 20% had anything. And then less than 3% had a violent criminal record. Okay. So when that is worse, okay, than every other recent president. Okay. So what I'm saying, sir, is you're saying he's going after criminals. He's not going after criminals. He literally, Stephen Miller called in all the heads of freaking like ICE and DHS and told them to stop going after criminals and to start going to Cardenas markets and 7-Elevens.
But inherently, if we're talking about illegal immigrants, they're committing a crime, whether it's a violent crime, like you say, the percentage is very small. By the nature of them being in the country, they're committing a crime. And a lot of other countries have way, way more drastic laws than we do.
A lot of other countries commit genocide too. Should we compare ourselves to those?
No, I'm talking about first world countries.
A lot of other countries freaking execute freaking political prisoners in the streets. Should we compare ourselves to those countries?
We execute people here too.
For being political prisoners? Maybe under Trump's America.
Not for being political prisoners.
Well, then you have to let me finish the rest of my sentence, sir. I said they were executing people for being political prisoners. You can't cut it off halfway through the sentence and then answer it. Okay?
Yeah, but where are you talking about?
Because you're just saying because other countries are worse than us, then that's what we should compare ourselves to. Yeah, there's always worse countries than us. There's also countries that are a lot better than us. If we're supposed to be such a great country, why are we not comparing ourselves to countries that are better than us, not worse than us?
I agree. We should strive to be the best country we can be.
Then why are you saying, hey, well, other countries are worse at it than us. Right? Other countries do worse things to people. I'm not trying to compare myself to other countries that do worse things to people. I'm trying to compare myself to countries that do better things to people.
Okay, and what country is dealing with immigration better than us?
Right now, most of them. Literally most of them.
Name one first world country that's dealing with
Germany, Italy,
amount of people,
UK, Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, fucking China, fucking Japan, Australia.
In the world.
Yeah, and they're still dealing with it better than we are. That's what I'm saying. The UK has a bad. That's the reason why I specific. That's why I literally said the UK. I said it on purpose. Okay. Because literally, the UK does have an immigration issue. That is true. And yet they've somehow found a way to handle it without building concentration camps. Isn't that pretty impressive?
I was saying Italy. I was referring
Italy to Italy, too. How many concentration camps are there in Italy?
How many concentration camps?
Uh-huh.
I don't know the exact number.
Oh, I do. It's 0. Okay? It's
So
0.
you think that they don't detain North Africans that try to immigrate into
They do.
Italy?
And then they send them back to North Africa. They don't put them in a concentration camp without any fucking charges, okay? Without any contact with anybody, without any contact with family, without any contact with law, without inhumane detention where they are underfed and don't even have room to fucking all lay down in the same cell. They don't do that. So therefore, Italy is handling their immigration system better than we are.
But you keep saying concentration camps, and you're using that word like as if it's like Auschwitz or something. It's not. You agree that that's not the same thing.
I didn't. You're the one who made that comparison. I never did.
Well, what? I mean, what other?
Why would I have to agree to something I never said?
Use that term?
Why would I have to deny something? I never said it was Auschwitz. You're using that.
No, I'm asking you. That's what.
No, you said that I'm saying it as such. No, I'm not. You're taking it as such, but I'm not saying it as such.
How? Okay, but I mean, be fair. Most people, when you say concentration camp, what do they think of?
I don't know. I'm not most people. So how could I possibly know what most people think when thinking something?
I'm telling you that's
because there's a difference between a concentration camp and a detention center.
And I think that's an inaccurate characterization of what they are.
Incorrect. It is not, because there's a difference between a detention center and a concentration camp,
which is true. So I don't understand how it's a concentration camp when everything in the Geneva Convention is being followed, and
it's actually not. Geneva Convention requires due process, and
like what?
I just said. Because the Geneva Convention requires due process, and it's not. The Geneva Convention also says that everybody needs to be fed and that everybody needs to be, be treated humanely. They're being put in inhumane detention without correct amount of food and without correct health care. So no, they're actually not following the Geneva Convention.
And is that anecdotal?
Is that anecdotal? No, it is insanely documented.
Or are you getting?
It is insanely documented. Literally, it was so documented that the White House had to come out and literally block television shows that were getting ready to spread it out to the people. Like literally every single time another documentary comes out where there's literally video evidence of all of these things happening, the Trump administration violates all of our First Amendment rights by blocking that information from coming out.
If that's happening, I don't agree with that. I don't defend that. I don't defend any violations of any of our amendments.
Really? Because Donald Trump was just found in court to be violating the First Amendment like 3 days ago.
How did he do that?
That's actually like the 12th time that a federal court has found him in violation of the First Amendment just this year, just in the last year? What are you talking about, dude? He's in violation of the First Amendment almost once a month. And like federally shown to be in violation of the First Amendment like once a month.
Yeah, that's why it's being blocked. He's not able to do that.
No, he's doing it.
He has to get away with it all the
He's
time.
doing it. He's being sued by people who actually give a fuck about the Constitution, and then he's being stopped by the law. He's not being like, oh, well, let me ask the court if I could do this. No, he's doing the violations and then being sued by citizens. The president of the United States is being sued by citizens for violations of the First Amendment, and he's losing.
And you think there's no precedent for that?
Do I think there's no precedent for what?
You think no other president has ever done that?
Sir, it's literally once a month. No. Not a single president in the history. The bad ones weren't freaking found in violation of a constitutional amendment once a month. And that's just one of the constitutional amendments he's been found in violation of.
And when you say violation, what do you mean by that? Like, how is he violating the Constitution directly? Like,
how's he violating the First Amendment? Where do you want to start? Violation of the friggin' rights of the people that were protesting in places like Colombia, violations of FCC, using the FCC to try to intimidate people from not saying things that he didn't want them to say, literally canceling things like PBS and NPR because he doesn't like the things that they say.
But he doesn't have the power to directly block them.
He did and does, and then he's being sued, and the court's saying you can't do that because it's a violation of the First Amendment.
Right. So he's not able to do it. He's done a lot of things, even in his first term, that were ridiculous.
Sir,
and he didn't get away with.
Sir.
Yes.
Stop. He did all of these things. What you're saying is that you are okay with the president violating the Constitution as long as somebody can sue him, and hopefully this court can stop him before he completely finishes it. Because guess what? When he was found in violation of the Columbia students, they were already deported by the time the court stopped him. When he found it was in violation of the freaking First Amendment for NPR and PBS, he had already stopped all the money. Okay?
So, okay, but to fix that, what you're saying, we would have to completely restructure the way.
Or we could not support presidents who are trying to violate the First Amendment every month. The literal Corporation for Public Broadcasting went out of business because of Donald Trump's violation of the First Amendment before the court could stop him. Okay? This is not about, we need to restructure our government. No, we need people like you to stop defending a president who's violating the Constitution.
I don't think I'm defending him so much so as your rhetoric, I just think is sometimes just not constructive at all or productive to anything. Like if you're just trying to say what you don't like about Donald Trump and, try to, dunk on people who support anything that he's done, that's not going to change anybody's mind. That's not going to help.
You think I'm trying to change your mind?
So when I'm trying to understand your point of view and you're...
Sir, you think I'm trying to change your mind?
I didn't say. What would be the point of...
Sir, you voted for a 34 times... You voted for a 34 times felon, okay, who was adjudicated in court of sexual assault and found to have defrauded a children's cancer charity for $400 million. Okay, who's in the Epstein files over 100,000 times. You voted for that person.
There's a lot of people in the Epstein files.
Yeah, and none of the fucking rest of them are the president.
Okay.
I don't want you to vote in anybody else in the Epstein files either. Okay? None of them.
Even if they didn't do anything wrong.
No, if they did nothing wrong, then whatever. Still, I don't know why you're that close to him, to be completely honest with you. Like Gabriel Iglesias was in there because someone mentioned Donald Trump. You do realize that Donald Trump is mentioned in the, you do realize that Donald Trump is mentioned in the Epstein files more than Epstein at this point, right? Like his name shows up like more than Epstein's name.
Yeah.
But I like how you just ignored the fact that he's a felon, that he's adjudicated of sexual assault and defrauded a children's cancer charity. And you still voted for him.
I wasn't aware about the defrauding of the...
You were aware of the felonies.
Reference.
You were aware of the sexual assault. You were aware of all those things.
He was elected by popular vote.
Yeah, you still voted. So, sir, you think at this point, as Donald Trump is literally throwing children in concentration camps, you think that I'm going to think that I'm changing your mind? Why?
I don't agree with concentration camps, and I'm not saying you're trying to change my mind in particular, but it seems like the point of your debates is to point out how Trump is not a good president, right?
No, the point of my debates is to show how people who support Trump, how people that support Trump actually have no idea either what they're supporting or they're horrible people, which is what you are. Okay?
I'm a horrible person?
Yes, because you're literally up here defending concentration camps.
I've never defended concentration camps.
You've been doing it for the last 15 minutes.
I keep saying that, but I haven't. How? What did I say that defended concentration?
Well, I don't know. They're not like really concentration camps. I think that you're just kind of saying that. Like, no. I don't know. Other countries are doing other stuff too.
Concentration camps that people think of when you say concentration.
Why are you people? Do you speak for people?
I think that's a. I mean, we have to. It's a general term that people associate with a certain.
Sir, what
time
you
period
think
and a
of.
certain thing.
It's what you think of, okay? And that's because you don't know what words mean.
Other people are saying the same thing. What do you mean?
Sir, other people also say that the earth is flat. A whole shit ton of them. Should I believe the earth is flat because a whole bunch of people say it?
So what? No, but if we can't, I mean, if we can't agree on things that are factually true or not, then yeah, I don't believe the Earth's flat. I wouldn't agree with that either.
But people believe it,
So I'm not
sir.
defending
But all sorts of people believe it.
And having a detention center where it's overpopulated, they can't just build them. It's not how construction works. You can't just build things out of nowhere when you start arresting more people. I agree the conditions are not ideal at all, but they're not. It's not a concentration camp.
Can you arrest someone for a civil offense?
What is going on? What's that?
Can you arrest someone for a civil offense?
No.
Okay. Is being in the country without document status, is that a criminal offense or a civil offense?
Is being in the country is not technically an illegal status to hold. It's the fact that you entered the country.
Gotcha. So, but you can enter the country completely legally and then be in the country without documentation.
Yeah, that can happen. People can have visas.
So what is ICE's job?
That can happen.
So what is
that's not most of people. That's not most of the people.
You don't know that. Actually, the numbers show the exact opposite. Actually, the overwhelming majority of the people that are in the United States came here legally and either overstayed a visa or overstayed a type of legal status. So no, actually, the vast majority of people did come here legally and then stayed here after when they should have. Okay, and the overwhelming majority of the people that Donald Trump is putting in these concentration camps are also people that entered the United States legally, and then their status expired. Okay, a lot of them which were actually trying to get that status actually corrected.
Correctly, right?
What?
Because all of the illegal immigrants are reporting exactly how they got here, right? That just doesn't make sense.
No, sir, but when somebody comes here legally, we have a sir, but when somebody comes here legally, we have a status of them. So when they get arrested and detained, we can see that they came here legally. And all the rest of them were people who didn't come here legally. Can you not figure that out?
That's committing a crime.
That is not committing a crime. It is not committing a crime. It's committing a civil offense.
It is.
It is not. Then what crime?
Being in the country illegally.
That's not a crime. That's a civil offense.
That's a crime.
Civil offense.
How can you be arrested for civil offense? How are they arresting people then?
That's the problem, sir. Sir, that's the whole point that I was trying to get to, sir. That's the whole point that I was trying to get to. ICE's job is to detain and deport. Okay? That is their job. Not to build camps to put them in, not to build giant detention centers, okay? Not to do any of that. Their job is to take, and the civil penalty for being in the country undocumented is deportation. Okay? That's like the fine they have to pay is deportation. Okay? What is going on over here? That's the fine they have to pay for his deportation. Okay? That's the entire point. All right. So when you're like, oh, they're building camps to put them in. They have to put these detention centers. No, they don't have the ability to do that because you can't jail someone if they aren't given due process. And so when you're building these giant concentration camps, okay, you can't keep them in there because they haven't gotten due process. They've had no due process of the law. They haven't had lawyers. They haven't had any of those things. What you can do is you can take them, you can grab them, and you can kick them out of the country. That's what you can do. That's what you're legally allowed to do. Because anything else, if you're holding them in these detention centers, which are jails, which are concentration camps, right? Because they're holding them for months and months and months and months and months over end, right? If they're holding them for all of this time, now they require due process. Now they require lawyers. Now they require court dates. Now they require, because you're punishing them under a law. That's why it's a
Yeah,
problem,
and a lot
sir.
of these people do have lawyers. A lot of these people have gotten out. A lot of all of these cases where people have been detained and they shouldn't have been, they're going to make mistakes. It's a federal government.
Sir, they've deported
Like,
over
obviously, there's gonna
they've
be
deported over
examples
170
of people-
U.S. citizens. What are you talking about? Sir, these people are in these concentration camps for
400 million
fucking
people in this
months.
When
They're
you
in
look
these
at it
concentration
as a
camps for
percentage,
months
that's
without
not-
lawyers,
that's not a lot.
without their family knowing where they are, with no one being able to contact them.
So how would you deal with it?
Humanely. Like human fucking beings.
How?
Like you why
If
are
you
you
could
pretending?
change everything
No, you asked me
tomorrow,
how
what
I
would
deal
you
with it.
do?
Shut the fuck up and let me answer the question. Why does the right pretend for some reason or act like because of someone's immigration status, they can be treated like less than human beings? Okay? Because that's how you're treated. When I say that there are infants being sent to these concentration camps where they're given rotten food, if they're given food at all, for when I'm telling you that should make you want to throw up. Okay? Because of how inhumane it is to do to children. But instead you're like, oh, well, what was their immigration status? Dude, I don't give a fuck what their immigration status is. They're human fucking beings. They deserve food, water, shelter, running fucking water. They deserve to get treated like fucking human beings. If they're children, they deserve to get treated like fucking children, where they should be in school, not in a concentration camp, where they should be getting an education. Okay? We can have immigration laws. I said to stop talking while I'm answering the question. Be quiet. We can have a strong immigration system. We can do our best to make sure that the criminals are out of here, that the wrong people aren't here. We can have a strong border. We can have strong customs and border protection. We can build your fucking wall if you want. I don't give a shit. Okay? But the people who are not committing crimes, who are here because of a lapsed immigration status, or because they came from fucking Honduras to try to stop their family from starving or being politically persecuted, are human beings, okay? Crossing the border is a Class C misdemeanor. It's the same as jaywalking. And I don't see you advocating for jaywalkers being sent to detention centers without due process, okay? Human beings. How would I fix it? I would do it humanely. Just the way that freaking, like when Barack Obama was president, and we found out, oh, there's like cages and shit. And everybody lost their fucking minds because it was, hey, we're putting human beings in cages. That is fucking wrong. Right? And the whole left stood up and went, nope, fuck that shit. You can't do that shit. And the Obama administration swapped it around and went, you're like, oh shit, we fucked up. Fucking fix it and start treating people like human beings. It's that simple. Immigrants are not the demon. They're not the devil. They're not the vermin. They're poisoning the blood of our country like Donald Trump says. They're not any of that stuff. They're human beings. Treat them like human beings. If you need to deport someone, then deport them. If Donald Trump was deporting people humanely, if Donald Trump was deporting people humanely, okay, then I would have a problem with it, but I'd have much less of a problem with it. Hey, he's treating them like human beings. He's doing what he's got to do, whatever. Okay? But he's treating people inhumanely, and the cruelty is the point. That's the problem. The cruelty is the point.
But the claims that you've made, are you done answering the question? I don't want to cut you off.
No,
claims
I'm not talking.
that you've made about the quote unquote concentration camps, the food, shelter, water. You think that they're not getting that?
I know that they're not getting that. Texas Star reported on it.
So how are they alive? You can't survive more than 3
They
days
barely
without
are.
water.
Some of them aren't making it out of there.
Well, of course, people die in jails, prison all the time.
I thought it wasn't a jail because it was not a crime.
A detention center. You're calling it a concentration camp.
Yeah, because people die in concentration camps.
Whatever
People don't
you
die in
call
detention
it, where
centers, sir.
where they're holding them. They're getting food. They're getting water. They have a roof over their head.
Sir, you want me to pull up like
Where are they
97
torturing
different
them?
reports that say you're lying? Because I can. Like literally,
What, though?
like
that they're not getting water.
yeah, that they're getting dirty water, unclean water, unpotable water. That they're not getting fed, or they're getting fed one meal, or that one meal a day, if that, and it's rotten or not edible. Yeah.
And where are you getting it from anecdotal evidence?
Anecdotal evidence? You mean reports from inside the prison,
like
from workers
people,
inside the prison, from people that were
saying,
detained
this
there?
Happened. That's where you're getting the information from.
What are you talking about, sir?
Like there is oversight committees. Like they can't just do whatever.
The oversight committees have been blocked out of the places by the Trump administration.
Things.
The oversight committees have been blocked.
The law and torture people on U.S. soil.
Sir,
you know that.
The oversight committees in Congress have literally been blocked from going in these places by the Trump administration. They aren't allowed in. The oversight that's supposed to happen is not allowed to happen.
He's attempted to block that, but he was not.
He has successfully blocked it.
Not in all facilities. He hasn't.
I'm not asking your opinion, sir. I'm not. This is not like, hey, you want to give me an opinion on whether he blocked it, and then I'll give you my opinion on whether he blocked it. I have 36 fucking Congress people who have tried to get into these detention centers and have all been blocked the door. It's all on camera. It's all been friggin' independently verified. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, you can't just walk up to a detention center just because you're a congressman. They're just going to say, hey, come on in.
Oh, gotcha. So a second ago, the oversight committee needed to be able to have oversight on these detention centers. And now the oversight committee can't just show up and have oversight on these detention centers.
No, you're saying show up with cameras and trying to make it an event, a scene.
So they can't document what's going on inside?
They can call and go. Of course they can.
Yeah, they called, and the Trump administration told them to fuck off. They've called the prisons.
And
prisons are like, nope.
This is another reason why people don't agree with you, is because it devolves into this state where you get upset.
I'm not upset, sir. You're just an idiot. Literally everything I'm saying, everything I'm fucking saying is documented dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times over. And your response is, well, I don't feel like that's happening. Show me one. Stop talking. No, show me one piece of evidence to support anything that you say. One. I'll show you a dozen right now for everything that I'm saying. Show me one fucking piece of evidence that's saying that you're right. Here, and I'll start with right here, where there was a full KSAT investigation about inhumane conditions. Okay.
Meanwhile, at one of those South Texas detention facilities,
literally where KSAT full investigations talks about friggin' inhumane, like the lawsuit and the inhumane conditions in Dilley, Texas. I'll start there. Your turn.
What did it say? Accusations? Again, what are we going off of? But play it. Go ahead.
I wasn't even trying to play the video, sir. I was just putting up the screen so everybody could read it. It's just some people talking. I don't even know if they were talking about the right article.
I'm just saying that what it said.
I don't even know if they were talking about the same article, sir.
This happening.
All right, cool. How about this? You pull me a better article that says it's not happening. Go ahead.
How can you pull up articles that say it's not happening? What article would say it's not happening?
Here's a fun one.
What would that entail?
Why worms in the porch despair in their eyes? Why are they still detaining kids at Dilley?
Why are they still putting kids at what?
Worms in the porridge, despair in their eyes. Why are they still detaining kids at Dilley? The morning porridge has worms, not all the time, but enough that the kids remember.
Right?
Food is often moldy, expired, repetitive, and lacking in inadequate nutrition. Water has putrid smell, and moms say it's making their kids sick. The kids are literally begging for slices of oranges.
Okay. I agree. That's not right. If somebody said that, or if that's a report you got from somewhere, but in normal USA jails or prisons, again, these people are being held. I understand your due process argument and all of those things, but in American citizens are served the same stuff: expired food, expired bread, expired whatever, and they're not going through this process. Okay, so I think you're trying to compare it to like as if you're a free world person and you're just going to be eating whatever you want and doing whatever you want. That's not the case. But the only thing we compare it to is other incarceration forms in the United States of America, because that's what we have, and that's what we've had.
So again, first of all,
the prison system.
Yeah. So first
I don't
of all,
agree with it completely.
First of all, let's start there. I don't believe prisoners. First of all, I don't believe prisoners should also be fed friggin' inedible food. I don't believe that either, because that's inhumane.
I don't think so either.
No, sir, I don't believe that either. But second of all, those people were convicted in a court of law for a crime, and these are fucking school children. They're fucking school children. Are you absolutely? Are you actually insane?
You just said that they were all convicted of crime.
Are you actually insane?
Many people.
Are you actually insane?
People,
You're literally comparing convicted criminals. Convicted criminals. You're actually comparing convicted criminals to school children. That's what you're doing. School 20 infants. You're comparing literal convicted criminals to school children. You're like, well, that guy who committed 12 murders, he doesn't get the best food either. So I don't know why this freaking school child could either, right? I don't know why this infant should get freaking, potable water.
That's the logic you jump to. A 12.
No, that's what you just said. I was talking about children with worms in their food. I was talking about children with worms in their food, and you're like, well, there's other people in the freaking in prisons that don't get fed great either.
No, I'm saying in jails, people in jails are often not convicted of crimes either, sir. I'm not sure if you realize that or not, but they're oftentimes awaiting trial or the resolution of their case because they can't afford bond. So they're in there, and oftentimes these people are innocent and they end up getting released, but they're still there and they haven't done anything wrong. That happens a lot.
Oh, so they're getting due process.
But they still have to be
something that these migrants aren't getting,
just like these people are.
So no, they're not.
You don't think they're getting processed? The people that are being
getting processed. That's not due process. Do you not know the difference between due process and being processed?
Due process is what's the requirement to have due process?
Do you not know the difference between due process and being processed?
Yes, I understand the difference.
What's the difference?
Due process is a specific set of procedures that American citizens are entitled to if they're accused and they face trial or face any kind of crime. That's the difference. And then processing is you have no control over the situation, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Well, you were kind of close, except for the fact that due process under the Constitution applies to everyone, citizen or non-citizen. It actually applies to everyone within the jurisdiction thereof of the United States. So even within the borders or the waters of the United States gets due process, not just U.S. citizens. But regardless of that, sir, okay, that's a whole different thing. Yeah. So yes, they're not getting due process. They're not getting to contact their lawyers. They're not getting to contact their families. They're not being able to present a case. They're not being put in front of a judge. Okay, because like those people in jails, they're put in jail for a second, then they're getting put in front of a judge, and the judge decides, right? The judge decides whether they go to jail while they're awaiting their case to be processed. A judge does that because that's due process. These people are being pulled from their homes, oftentimes without warrants, okay, or without judicial warrants at the minimum, and then they're being stuck in an inhospitable detention center, concentration camp for months and months and months without seeing a judge, without seeing a lawyer, without doing any of that stuff. And sometimes they just disappear. sometimes they just disappear. There's like 1,500 of them at Alligator Alcatraz. Just disappeared. We have no idea where they went. They just disappeared off the face. Like, no idea where they went.
You're saying people that were in a detention center in the United States just disappeared,
Yep.
and we don't know where they are.
Sure did.
I haven't heard about this, so I'm genuinely asking.
Sure did.
Yeah, that's obviously an issue. I don't agree with that.
Obviously, an issue is one way to put it.
I just think that these situations that you point out, it applies to immigration, obviously, because that's a really hot button issue right now. But it's been a problem in the way that we deal with incarcerated people in general for decades. So the fact that now we're just doing it to people that are here illegally, and I understand the civil, the criminal, the difference, and how it's not technically a crime to just be here illegally. I understand all of that, but we can't also afford to just keep continuously letting people in forever.
Sir, nobody's continuously letting people in forever, and not to mention on top of that, what do you mean you can't afford?
I asked you what you would do, and all you said was you would treat them humanely.
Yes, because we weren't talking about our immigration issue. You were talking about, we were talking about them being detained. Okay, not to mention the fact that in the last 50 years, they've already shown that immigrants in this country have had a surplus of $14.3 trillion to our nation. Surplus of 14 trillion. They're not costing us anything. They're giving us money.
You think they don't cost the healthcare system anything?
They do, and then they pay more than that back. That's what a surplus is.
That's what a what is?
A surplus. Yeah, a surplus takes into account how much they cost, right? And then calculates that in.
I just didn't hear what you said. That's all.
Yes, they are a surplus of $14 trillion.
Okay. So do you think that if they weren't there, that these jobs just wouldn't get done? That we would just
Who the fuck is talking about jobs?
Can't do it because they're not here.
Who the fuck is talking about jobs? I didn't say anything about jobs. I'm sorry, chat. Did y'all like it? Did I say jobs and I didn't realize it? Did I? Are you like Donald Trump? Are you like Donald Trump talking to living presidents?
Just like you said, I've said a lot of things I didn't say. I didn't say you said that. I'm asking you a question.
I said that they've been a $14 trillion surplus, and you said, well, what do you think? Who's going to do the jobs? That's not a response to what I said.
But you haven't answered my question. All you've said is humanity. I'm going to treat them humanely.
That's a good start, don't you think?
That's not gonna. Okay, that is a good start. But you're saying one thing. We can agree to disagree. But under the Geneva Convention, they're being treated fairly.
Under the Geneva Convention, they never got due process, so their entire detention is against the Geneva Convention. Literally, the fact that they are being detained is against the Geneva Convention.
I have two parents who are immigrants and went through the whole process.
I just don't think
you get how it works when you have a legitimate claim to asylum or to whatever the situation is.
Sir, are you trying to tokenize your parents because your parents did something? You think that you understand the whole process like you're an immigration lawyer or some shit, or two, that you've gone through the process, or even three, that has anything to do with what these migrants are going through? Sir, I don't give a shit if your parents are immigrants. The only thing that your parents being immigrants means is that you're a ladder puller because you're freaking experiencing all of the benefits of your parents being able to come over here and have you here, and you get birthright citizenship through that, right? And therefore you get to get all of the benefits of the American citizen, and you don't want other people to have those same things. And two, you're an idiot because you're supporting Donald Trump, who was literally just went to the Supreme Court to try to take your citizenship away. That's the only two things that means. One, you're a ladder puller, and two, you're must be really self-hating.
I'm a ladder puller because my parents worked hard and built a life for themselves.
You know how many people were working hard and building a life themselves that are in a concentration camp in Texas right now? You know how many people worked hard, did things the right way? Sir, do you know how many people worked hard? You know how many people worked hard and did things the right way and tried to use our legal system to gain legal citizenship and residency? You know how many of those people who were trying to build a life for themselves, you know how many of those people are not being fucking fed and living in inhospitable conditions in a fucking concentration camp right now? The only difference between your parents and all those people in those fucking camps right now, in those fucking inhospitable places, the only difference is what president your fucking parents came in under. That's it. That's the only fucking difference, is because your parents came in under earlier presidents. So ignorant, sir, I'm shush.
You just said
the only difference between them and you is that they came in before this presidency, and then you have the fucking gall to support this presidency for people trying to live their life exactly how your parents did and exactly how you are. Exactly how you are. Those kids, okay, that were freaking born here, that Donald Trump were trying to take away their citizenship. They're trying to build their lives, that their parents were trying to build lives for them, just like your parents did for you. You're saying that you somehow deserve that right, and they fucking don't. You're the problem, sir. I support I support most people that were born here, the family of immigrants coming here. You can go, to be completely honest with you, okay? But I support people coming in here and being able to immigrate and be able to do things the right way and be able to freaking, support themselves and pay taxes and work and do all of those things without being in fear of the Trump administration coming and seeing that you're fucking brown and racial profiling you and sticking you in a detention center for 3 months before they find out whether you're even legally here.
I agree that's wrong.
You're the one that supports Trump, sir. You're the one that still supports Trump.
You're getting it wrong. I agree that these people's accounts of these terrible things happening, or when ICE is shooting people in situations where that shouldn't have happened, I'm not saying I agree with everything that ICE is doing. The question was, what is Trump doing? I don't think ICE is dealing with the situation the best way that they could. Never said that. But I also don't think that characterizing them as concentration camps and that they're being treated inhumanely, like they're being tortured or something. Kids should not be there. That's a different thing. And you keep referring back to the kids, but most of them are not kids. Most of the people that are being detained are not kids. Obviously, there are kids there because the people choose to make the choice to bring their child with them here. So yes, there are kids there as well, but most of them are not kids, and they made a conscious decision to do something, and they understood the consequences, and here we are.
They understood the consequences.
Dealing with it in the best way possible.
So gotcha.
But my question to you
they understood the consequences. They thought,
what would you do?
They thought if they tried to pursue things the right way, because maybe they were on a visa, they were like, you know what? I love this country. I'm going to try to pursue things the right way, right? I'm going to go to the court system, and our court system takes 5 years for them to get their residency. You believe that they understood the risk of that was that they were going to be not given due process and stuck in a concentration camp? You think they understood that?
If you were
no, answer my fucking question. You think somebody who came here and was trying to move things here legally thought that their freaking repercussion for trying to immigrate into this country legally was to be stuck in a concentration camp? That's what you thought that they knew their repercussion was.
Are you speaking for them?
What?
I'm trying to answer your question. Then
answer it. Yes or no?
They made it conscious. Yes, they made it conscious.
They knew it. So they knew. Guys, gotcha. So people who have come here over the last 20 fucking years knew that somewhere down the line, Stephen Miller was going to end up in the fucking White House, and Donald Trump was going to end up in the fucking White House, and they'd build concentration camps and stick them and their children in there. That's what this guy thinks. This guy thinks that a guy who's been here since he was fucking 5 and is 45 years old and has been living and working in this country trying to gain legal status thought that somewhere down the line there'd be a president who was going to stick him in a concentration camp or send him to a torture prison or send him to South Sudan when he's from fucking Mexico. Okay? To a war-torn, famine-torn country. That's what this fucking idiot thought. Your fucking disconnect from fucking reality is staggering, dude. You're undeserved, right? You're completely undeserved sense of entitlement, right? Your completely undeserved sense of entitlement because your parents came here, right? And now you think that you're entitled to treat everybody else just like complete shit, right? And be like, oh, they knew the fuck you, dude. These are human fucking beings, bro. Your sense of entitlement literally disgusts me, okay? And literally, and I mean this with my full heart, you are what is wrong with this country. This country that was built on immigrants, okay? This country, which has had an immigration problem that needs to be fixed, okay? Like, truthfully, you are what's wrong with this country. The literal kid of two immigrants who are saying that other immigrants deserve to be put in fucking concentration camps in inhumane conditions because, they broke the law. You are literally the problem with this country. Literally. And I mean that with everything I have. I literally just explained it. What do you mean how? What do you mean how? What do you mean how? I just explained to you how. I literally just explained to you how. I literally just explained to you how.
Applied for the paperwork. There's a problem.
You fucking idiot! He's pulling them out of their court cases. They are literally going in where the judge is granting them fucking rights, granting them permanent residency, and Trump is sending ICE into the fucking courtroom and ripping them out. They are trying to do things the right way, you fucking imbecile. I have said that 12 times. How have you not comprehended this in your head yet? Holy fucking shit.
I understand what you're saying.
Holy shit, dude. I have said this
It's
12
insane.
fucking
so
times
emotional.
already. How have you not let this freaking get
Why are you
into
so
your head?
upset?
Huh?
Why are you so upset?
Because you're fucking sad, dude. Because we treat human beings like fucking human beings, and your disgusting fucking Hitler-esque fucking rhetoric about just send them to the fucking camps because they don't fucking belong here is going to destroy this fucking country, and it's fucking sickening. And people like you disgust me. You literally disgust me. Your lack of humanity and lack of care for other people literally fucking disgusts me. That's why I'm fucking upset. That's why I'm fucking upset. Because you're the reason, you're the way that countries end up like 1930s, 1940s Germany's. People like you. People like you. It is literally a slippery slope. That's where it fucking ends. That's where it fucking ends. Rhetoric like this, that's where it fucking ends. A complete lack of empathy, a complete lack of humanity, and fucking demonizing an entire culture or race or group of fucking people. That's how it fucking starts, dude. That's how it starts. That is just the small breeding ground that just festers and festers and festers and festers. And the next thing you know, you're having to wear symbols on your chest. And the next thing you know, it's just, we'll just get on the fucking train, dude. Stop fighting the monarchy. Just get on the fucking train. It'll be okay. Don't worry about it. I'm sure what's happening over there is just fine. Why am I fucking upset? Why aren't you upset? Why aren't you upset that human beings, if children of immigrants like you are getting treated horribly, getting treated inhumanely, getting treated like shit? Why are you not fucking upset? That's the fucking question.
It's insane.
That's the question is not why am I not upset? The question is why aren't you?
How? Because, again, it goes back to the question that I asked almost 15 minutes ago.
I don't give a shit. Fuck off, dude. Get the fuck off my fucking live. Holy shit. Fucking ridiculous, dude. Sorry. Hi, welcome in everybody. I'm literally fucking sweating. Holy shit, I'm literally fucking sweating. Yo, make make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. That was an hour into the conversation. I think it got a little, I think I got a little heated there. Yo, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Can we please get this thing up to 100,000 likes? I really appreciate it. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We're going to move on to the next caller. If you guys like support the live, I do super chats, super stickers. I have a live gift goal, which we're at like 3 of.
It's insane.
I think that's mostly because I got kicked off and came back. Guys, give me we're gonna take another call. We're gonna take another call. Y'all give me 2 seconds.
It's insane. It's insane.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that, y'all. Ari, thank you so much for my for that raid. Big W's in the chat for Ari Raiders. I saw a bunch of Ari Raiders go in there. I apologize if I disturbed you guys. I got a little wound up there. So I apologize. Okay? So sorry for any of the Ari Raiders that I disturbed during Ari's live. I do not like to disturb Ari's live. I apologize. I just get a little bit wound up every once in a while. Okay? I get a little wound up every once in a while.
It's insane.
Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna move on to the next caller. If you're new here, please make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. All right. We're gonna run through a few super chats real quick, and then I'm gonna move on to the next caller just to give myself a quick break.
It's insane.
Chester said, "Hey, Paulie, here's a few pesos. I haven't been watching all the lives lately, and instead I've been watching the via VOD. Keep up good work, though. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Chester." XLexy said, "Grammar is the difference between knowing your shit and knowing your shit." Yeah, 100%. Tad had said, "How did you get the human version of Wonder Bread to call in?" I don't know. I do not know. Yeah, that was interesting. Carolyn said guest voted to have his
insane.
Guest voted to have his ancestors deported at immigration hearings, doing it the right way. He is guilty of that. Damn ladder puller. Yes, absolutely, 100% true. Thank you so much, Carolyn. True said, "Paulie, I have no idea how you can keep it together. I'm in tears." I don't think I kept it together by the end. I don't know if that's defined as holding it together at the end. I think I kind of lost it for a second. I don't think I kept it together at the end, but thanks, Truth. I appreciate that. Amber. I gotta mark several. All right, I do that. Okay. Amber, thank you so much for the $100 super chat. Holy shit. Can we get huge W's in the chat for Truth and for Amber? For the 50 and the $100 super chat. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Huge W's. Amber said, "Thank you for doing what I want to do every day." You know, I try to stay pretty calm most of the time, but every once in a while, man, someone just gets to me, okay? I can only be who I am. I can only be who I am, okay? I can only be who I am. Sometimes I'm gonna crash out. Jason, thank you so much for the $2. Said, "Never seen you get this heated, bro. Caller deserved it." Thank you so much. Ogden, thank you for the $10. Said, "Thank you for attempting to school this complacently ignorant, inhumane cultist. Paulie, good job. This idiot was hell fixed on straying from the truth." I tried real hard. I really did. I did my best. Naylene said, thank you for all you do. Freddie said, sorry. I loved that. Sorry. I love that. Thank you so much, Freddie. I appreciate that. Draco said, heard you in Ari's live. I had to comment, breathe. Again, sorry, all the Ari Raiders. I apologize for disturbing. I know I'm kind of loud. Angela Nair, thank you so much for the 20. Bella, thank you so much for the 10. Said thank you. Norbert, thank you so much for the 10. Said thank you for being your voice. Truth again said thank you for what you're doing. Thank you so much. Truth with a huge 50. I really appreciate that. And so thank you guys so much. Also for all the little gifts that have come through. I really appreciate that over on YouTube. And for Dern for the Map Polaris. Support the team with the blooming. Support the team with the Super Live. Support the team with the other Super Live. Chris with the Polaris. And Tati with the Polaris. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. That is just, thank you guys so much for showing all of the love. Like I really appreciate it. And I will try my best. Can we get extra W's in the chat again for Truth and for Amber for those just absolutely massive super chats? That is absolutely huge. And I don't want you guys to know that it doesn't go unnoticed. I'm just still wound up. So I'm like, I don't want to sound disingenuous, right? But like I'm like so wound up. I'm like kinda still moving fast. So I apologize, but thank you guys so much. Big W's chat. Light those W's up in the chat for that. All right. We're going to keep this thing going. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys like support, like you guys have seen, I do have super chats, super stickers, pay links in the bio. They're all at Polypolitics, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I also have the live gift goal. I'm doing the little star Polarises today. We're at like 25. So hopefully we can get up to like 50% on that pretty soon. Would love to get halfway through that gift goal if we could. Make sure you guys are sending those daily heart me's too. There's only been like 58, so we should be way higher than that. We should at least be at 100 by now, 100%. So make sure you guys send that daily heart me in case you forget. If you don't remember what that is, up by my name, hit the little heart buttons, hit the join, or keep going, all that fun stuff. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
Surprisingly, I am 17.
All right. Hey, man, sorry. I do appreciate you want to come up, but I do only take people that are over the age of 18 onto the live. But I do appreciate it. All right. Have a wonderful day. Hello. How are you? All right. Goodbye. Never mind. Scratch that. Oh, my God. Holy shit. Tara, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Sorry, I missed that. I totally apologize. I didn't get the notification. I just happened to check the email. Huge W's in chat for Tara for the 50 over on the blue app over there. Big W's in chat for Tara for that too.
Hello?
Holy shit. Thank you so much, Tara. I really appreciate that. Huge W's in the chat for Tara.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi? Hello?
Hi, yes.
Hi, yes. Hello. How old are you?
I'm 44.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Why is that?
Well, he's got a bit of a man daddy.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Hello?
Hello? Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you?
This is the first time seeing your stream, by the way. Good stuff.
Oh. Well, usually I'm not screaming, so.
No, streaming.
No, I said usually I'm not screaming on my stream, so.
Oh, no, I didn't. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How about yourself?
Not bad.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I do not anymore.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that.
During his, as a child growing up, I knew him as a businessman and all that stuff. And the first term, I did enjoy some good times, and I felt like a lot of people did. But however, the second term, I feel like he's gone a totally different direction. But everything that he stood for, and I do not support him anymore, man. I think that it's travesty, honestly, what's going on now.
Well, this is just all the stuff he tried to do in his first term, but he actually had people in the White House that would actually stop him. And the second term is him just doing things unabated, right? But I give people a little bit of a lax when they voted for him, like the first term and stuff like that. I mean, you didn't really know what what you were getting, like 100%. So I give a slight bias. I give a slight pass on 2016. If you're still voting for him in 2024, I don't know what you're doing, and I'm glad to hear you that you came over to the side of not Epstein. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do appreciate it. But hey, man, I am going to try to get some Trump supporters up here, but I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay.
Yep.
All right, man. W's in the chat for caller. I actually probably needed a little break right there. I'm like all amped up. I'm all amped up on Mountain Dew. I'm going to be all over you like a spider monkey. Hello. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
Hey, I am 46.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I do not support Trump in the way you say, but I do support Trump under these rules, under the understanding that we live in America and he's allowed to do what he can do, right? And so therefore, we as the people are allowed to judge him on the things he's doing and vote out the people who support him for what he's doing. I just wanted to take a different view of this, if that's okay with you.
Is that your view?
Yes, my view is that Trump, when you say, do you support Trump? It's too broad of a question because it's like, yeah, you can support Trump doing whatever he's doing because we can also make him pay for it when we go to the polls. So he's allowed to do what he's allowed to do, and the things he's not allowed to do, we can always sue for, as, you know, people continuously do to this day.
That doesn't sound like you support him. That just sounds like, I don't know. I don't even know what that sounds like. It sounds like some type of passive fence sitter. I don't know. Weird.
No, I think at this point, I think people need to judge Trump on what he's doing, and I think people just simply need to wake up. He is allowed to do things.
Yeah, sir. Just because he's allowed to do things doesn't mean he should be doing those things.
Exactly, and I agree with you there. So
I don't support him doing them.
Exactly, and that's why I said we should be allowed to judge him at the polls.
We are allowed to do that.
Exactly. So what's going on in America? People keep voting for him and his friends.
Yeah, they just don't like women mostly. But I don't think this is really going to go anywhere, so I'm going to let you go, and I hope you have a good one, right?
Thank you.
All right. I just don't know where that.
Insane.
I just don't know where that was going. Hello, how are you?
Dude, you got to set up your queue system, man. I really hate having to call like over and over and over. You know
cool.
what I mean?
Give me the money to do that then.
Okay, but you're the one who.
No,
I'm
serious.
Right?
At the rate of calls I get, it would cost me about $1,200 a month. You got $1,200 a month?
Well, I don't know. Just set up StreamYard, bro. StreamYard would be better.
StreamYard doesn't do what I needed it to do, so no.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I see my Cash App hit $1,200 from you, then I'll just I'll go ahead and purchase that.
Bro, you got $100 super chat. I'm sure you can afford
$100. Oh, okay. Well, that's the same as $1,200.
Probably get smarter calls.
All right, I'm just gonna hang up on you because I do not care. Mostly, I'm hanging up on you because I just know that how many times you've called and you've whined about it, and now I just want you to waste more of your time. And since you're wasting mine, I'm just here to waste more of your time. And since you're wasting mine now, yeah. By the way, it would cost me about $1,200. Plus, I would need someone to actually screen the calls. Any of y'all volunteering for that? I wouldn't. Ugh. Hello?
Bro, are you scared? You don't want to debate?
Oh, no, I was just trying to waste your time like you're wasting mine.
Well, let's have a debate then, brother.
Since you were sitting there wasting my time complaining about my call system, I figured I would just make you call a few more times. Because fuck you, honestly.
Well, you're a bitch too, but let's have a debate, buddy.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
You're not.
All right, we're going to keep moving on to the next person. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Do do do. I just don't understand it, dude. If you want to come have a conversation with me, then come and have a conversation with me. Oh God, we got one of these. Oh no. You guys over on YouTube can't see what's going on. Oh my goodness. We got the whole thing incoming. Oh goodness. Hello, how are you? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Bro was getting after it, dude. Hello, how are you?
Hey, you know Democrats are pedophiles too, right?
I'm not a Democrat. I'm against all pedophiles.
Okay, we can agree.
Okay.
Are you a retard?
No.
Okay. Very cool.
All right, well, glad we wasted the last of those brain cells you had in there. Hello, how are you?
Good.
Awesome. How old are you?
Hey, I'm 24.
Awesome.
No, I just honestly, I liked Trump at one point. I was just kind of wondering, do you hate people who liked Trump or who do like Trump, or because I at this point fucking hate Trump.
I really do try really hard in my life not to hate people, right? And just to be just personally, okay. I really do try that, and so I don't hate people. I don't hate most people, even people that that voted for Trump, right? I dislike you. I disagree with you, and I think a lot of the things that people are still supporting. But really, I don't think anybody. I think a lot of people are just conned, and they're still being conned, and a lot of people are waking up, right? And so
Yeah,
I don't
which
hate.
they should.
I will say, when it comes to hate, that last main guest I had, he got about as close as you can get. Because I do hate ladder pullers. I hate fucking ladder pullers, dude. I fucking hate ladder pullers. I hate ladder pullers and I hate fascists. Those are two people I hate, right? I hate ladder pullers and I hate fascists, right? But I don't say that I hate every general person that voted for Trump. I know people that voted for Trump, and it's not all of them. I think a lot of people just are uninformed. I think that's most of what it is.
At this point, I hate the terminology liberal and you know, the right and all that type of stuff. You know, I feel like at this point we should all come together. You know, it's getting stupid at this point.
Yeah, well, we need to all come together against fascism first, right? Yep. Which is what we're fighting against: inhumane treatment of people, including immigrants, right? We need to come together against all of that and take this out,
and I mean,
right?
which I was a part of that, and you know.
I'm just saying, then we can argue about the semantics of the rest of it later. You know,
I was like, oh, they're just gonna come and get, you know, the extreme crazy people over here. Hell no, that's not what they did. They just they came and got anybody they wanted. You know? And, and literally abused people while they were doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but they, again, when he was linked to the Heritage Foundation, linked to people like Stephen Miller, you had to know this was going to happen before he was elected. And unfortunately, there's all of this was predictable. All of this was predicted by, you know, many people like me and many other people that do this on the left. And it was just, it was pretty predictable. But hey, man, I am going to let you go, see if I can get a Trump supporter up here. But I hope you have a good day, right?
Yeah. No, you got more people to talk to. You have a good night.
You too, man. Hello, how are you?
Predicted by, you know, many people like me and many other people.
Hello?
On the left. It was just.
Sir, if you are calling right now, you are on the line. Please turn off the live in the background. I am here.
You got more people to talk to. You have a good night.
I'm just picturing them just like staring at the phone, and they can't they must just be staring at it like that. It's very confusing how they got there. Katai, I always pronounce your name right. I think I'm right. Katai. Katai. I think it's Katai. It said, thank you so much for the $10. I really, really appreciate that. It said, Paulie, thank you for your homework. Thank you for your work. Introduce you to some of my my Trump supporter friends, and you are making them second guess a lot of what Trump is doing. Well, that's about the biggest win I could have heard of in my entire life. So big W's in the chat for Katai for introducing his work friends to me, and hopefully I can help change some minds. So that's really awesome. W's in the chat for that. That's absolutely great. Thank you so much, man. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
23.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah.
Awesome. Why is that?
I'm a construction worker, and I think that a lot of these illegal immigrants are taking our jobs.
I think a lot of migrants in total might be taking your jobs. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
But a lot of them, I work with most of the people that do take our jobs and get them cheaper are illegal immigrants.
No, that's not true. The overwhelming majority of people that are migrants that are in the construction industry are legal migrants, right? That happens a lot. Well more. I mean, just the numbers alone would go for that. Plus, a good portion of companies won't hire people like undocumented immigrants, right? Because that's wrong. But as a whole, right, in the United States, right, immigrants create, and even undocumented immigrants, actually almost especially undocumented immigrants, create more jobs than they take away, right? So they even help to create jobs within the construction industry, right? They just take away some jobs also, right? It's pretty even.
I wonder how even it really is, though. I mean, they're not allowed to start companies.
Right, exactly. They're not allowed to start.
Contractor.
Yeah, you're right. They're not allowed to start companies, but then, but their bosses were, their foremans were, their coworkers were. And then even if they're doing jobs, right? Like say that you have like undocumented immigrants that are doing like building an apartment complex, right? Well, then that creates the jobs for the American citizens who are doing the plumbing, who are doing the electricity, who are doing the roofing, or doing, just who supply the appliances and do all of those things, right? So even in the cases where they are taking jobs as far as construction, they're creating jobs in a whole bunch of other places that our Americans are taking. Actually, if you look at the undocumented population of the United States, they create jobs almost 1-to-1.
A study right here from 2025 says that up to 29% of total foreign-born population in the United States are illegal immigrants.
29% of the foreign-born population. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And I'm
that means that over 70%.
Are not illegal.
Yeah, that means that 70% are documented, right? So the overwhelming majority.
Yeah, that is true, but 30% is still a good amount.
Yeah, but you didn't say a good amount. You said most of them are, and I said the overwhelming majority are documented.
Only very few of the ones out here that I've seen are documented or legal.
Sir, how can you see someone and tell whether they're documented or legal or not?
I mean, I talked to them. They're honest about it. I'm not going to call ICE or anything like that, I mean, I like them as people. I just think that they are taking a lot of our work.
It just seems kind of weird to me that somebody who is undocumented would just tell you that they're undocumented for no reason.
I mean, just the other day they were telling me that in Mississippi how a lot of their buddies got caught up. I mean, they're not worried about me, I mean, I'm cool with them.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if I was an undocumented immigrant, which I've never been, right? Like, whatever. But if I was an undocumented immigrant, like, I sure as hell wouldn't be telling some like random white dude at a construction site that I'm undocumented. Like, maybe you wouldn't call ICE, but probably like 80% of y'all would. So
my boss runs 2 crews, and actually a full crew that works for our company is completely illegal.
Gotcha. So you're admitting that your company is committing a crime. You want to tell me what that company is?
I'm good on that, but
I'm just saying you're literally admitting that not only is your company committing a crime, but you're aware of that crime.
Well, I work as a 1099, so it's nothing to do with me.
Oh, gotcha. So it's not your company.
Not my company. I'm saying the company I work for.
Sir, I'll tell you this, and honestly, just like that this whole rhetoric just feels like bullshit to me. Okay, because I did roofing in California, right, sir? So I did roofing in California.
That's what I do. I do metal roofing.
That's fine, sir, and that's fine. I'm not arguing that's not what you do. I'm just saying I did roofing in California, right, in the early 2000s, right, when California had one of the largest, immigrant and undocumented migrant populations in the United States, right? And I did it for like a while, and I'm brown, and still not a single person ever walked up to me and was like, I'm here illegally. Like, it never happened. Like, not
Okay, it's not like
one
that.
time.
I've gotten close to a lot of them.
And look, and I'm just saying, like, oh, I was close to a lot of them too. And I'm just saying, like, I had a pretty good feeling that some of them were, you know what I'm saying? But like, I wasn't asking,
you have to speak
right?
English to become a citizen, right?
Nope.
At least a little bit. You have to know you have to know the Constitution. There's a lot of stuff you got to do. Most of those people that cannot speak a lick of English are not legal.
What's the national language of the United States?
I don't think there is one exactly, but
Exactly. So exactly, sir. Yeah, you can do it without speaking English or doing so little English that you wouldn't really even know the difference, right? Like you wouldn't know. So you can go up to someone who speaks little or no English and not have a clue what their documented status is. And let's just say they sorry, one second. Have to get rid of that. And even if they weren't U.S. citizens, right, they could still be documented and legal here. They could be here on work visas. There's so many numbers of ways they could be here on a permanent residency, right? There's so many ways that they could be here legally and not and be documented and also not be U.S. citizens. So there's lots of gap room in between there.
Yeah, that is true.
So, and that's what I'm saying. So all I'm saying is I worked in roofing. I'm not saying I did it for a long time because that job sucks. Like more power to you. One second, sir. I'm just saying like more power to you, sir. Like I'm not saying roofing is a very hard job. I did it long enough to know that I didn't want to fucking do it, right? Because it sucks.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, sir, is like during that whole time, no one's ever walked up to me and just like told me like, hey, I'm here illegally. Like that's crazy. Like that's just nuts, right? And like I said, I'm not denying that places like construction, places like agriculture, right, are a place where a lot of immigrants work in, and undocumented immigrants work in those sectors too. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm saying as a whole, the United States benefits from their service, right? Like they do. It's just they just do.
But also we have to eat the bad end of it. We got to work for cheaper because they'll do it for cheaper.
Right. Well, so like I'm not against companies. I'm against companies hiring undocumented immigrants. And if people are documented and they're following within our labor laws, right, so that, companies aren't paying, under a required amount of wage or under a certain amount of wage, right? But if people are just willing to do a job cheaper than you and they live in the United States and they're here, documented, then that's just capitalism, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the system
it is, but they're sending all their money back off to their country. We're not.
So what?
There should be no reason we should support it.
So what? Why do you care if they're sending money back to their country?
Well, I'm just saying it ain't no good for the rest of us.
It is very good for the rest of us because they still have to live here. They still have to buy things. They still have to buy food. They still have to do all of those things. They're still paying taxes. They're still paying into Social Security, right? The Cato Institute has shown that immigrants in this country in the last 50 years have had a $14.3 trillion surplus in the United States. So, and currently we're insolvent. So, I think that that any contribution that we can get right now is pretty helpful,
I mean, overall, yeah, it could be helpful to a lot of business owners and stuff like that, but the main workforce is not going to get any benefits off that.
Yeah, no, they are. Because again, like I explained before, sir, that again, it might not be that crew or whatever, but different places, maybe the plumbers, maybe the electricians, maybe the more specialized workers who are American citizens benefit from those construction companies being able to work. All right. And they may even benefit even a little bit more because, if they're paying undocumented immigrants more for the main construction, then they can pay those American citizens in that spot. And especially when you're talking about things like metal roofing, right? Like you might be one of those people that benefits from it. But America as a whole definitely benefits from it, right? Due to their taxes, due to their GDP contributions, and due to their labor, right? Because we don't have enough labor the U.S. citizens just don't provide enough labor to be able to fix the problem if they all leave.
It says undocumented immigrants make up to 20% of the U.S. construction workforce. No matter what you do, undocumented people are still gonna.
Where are you getting that stat from? I mean, I'm not even disagreeing with it, but I'd like to know
where am I getting that from? University of Michigan.
University of Michigan. And what's the name of that study?
What's the name of the study?
Yeah, again, I'm not even saying it's wrong. I mean, it honestly, it sounds a little high, but it wouldn't be something that would surprise me.
The perils of undocumented construction workers in the United States.
University of, you said Michigan?
Yep.
Perils of undocumented You said perils of
Construction workers in the United States.
construction workers in the U.S. Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, even the first thing here said the construction industry in the United States relies significantly on the labor and expertise of immigrant. The construction industry in the United States relies significantly on the labor and expertise of immigrant workers, particularly undocumented individuals. These workers are desperately needed to fill the 500,000 worker shortage in construction, yet they face severe challenges of economic exploitation, increased safety hazards, and hostile political atmosphere. An estimated 1.6 million immigrants work in the construction industry, compromising 20% of the nation's workforce. That actually says immigrants, not undocumented immigrants. So 20% of the workforce is immigrants, not undocumented immigrants, and they're filling a 500,000 job shortfall.
Yeah, that's let's see.
And I can put that up on the screen for everybody.
Undocumented immigrants make up an estimated 15 to 20%.
Where's it saying that? Which paragraph?
Let me go here.
Because I'm reading it right here, sir, and I have it on the screen for everyone. Second paragraph, an estimated 1.6 million immigrants work for the construction industry nationwide, comprising 20% of the industry's total workforce.
Hold up, my shit's loading. But also, the only reason shit would be cheaper or anything like that would be, like, the totally illegal immigrants. They would have to pay more if illegal immigrants weren't taking our jobs. They'd have to pay more because they wouldn't be able to find workers for it.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
They wouldn't be able to find as many. You're saying there's a shortage in construction workers.
Your source says that there's a shortage.
So are you saying the source is wrong?
No. But you're saying I'm saying that I'm saying it, sir. I'm not saying it. You're saying it. Your source is the one saying it. I'm not making the claim. I'm using your source to make the claim.
What I'm saying is they would have to pay more if they couldn't fill those spots. They would have to.
Right, and we would still be 500,000 short, which means that we would be all of those jobs.
Not if they paid more. People don't do it because it's not worth the money.
People don't do it anymore because it fucking sucks.
And it's not. But if they were paying $50 an hour, people would do it.
Some people would do it. Most people wouldn't.
An hour, people would do it.
Nope. Some people would. Most people wouldn't.
But it would draw a lot more, and it would not be that much of a shortage.
So what you're saying is every construction piece in the United States would take longer because there's less crews. It would cost more money because there's less people to do it, and even more money than that because we now have to pay every single one of them even more money. How is that any of that a benefit for the United States?
And all of the money would still stay in the United States.
Sir, hold on. I didn't stop trying to switch that. Okay, stop trying to switch what I just said. How is less construction for an incredibly higher cost better for the United States?
Because we'd all keep our own money.
Who would all keep their own money?
Well, the money would circulate through the U.S. instead of going off to other foreign
Most of it is already still circulating through the United States, sir. Even the money that goes to undocumented immigrants, most of it is still circulating through the United States. And we send, and if it's not going that way, it'll go to the literally millions of businesses in the United States that buy things from China or to Mexico, right? You buy a Harley Davidson. Guess what? You're sending some of your money to Mexico, dude. Like you buy John Deere, some of your money's going to Mexico. Okay. Like, I don't know why we're worried about the undocumented immigrants sending pennies. Sir, I don't know why we're worried about the undocumented immigrants sending pennies back for their family to eat when our companies and our money are going to foreign countries all the time. Like that doesn't make any sense. But my question was, how is it better for the United States to get less construction for a significantly higher cost?
It would raise a lot of prices. It would. But I don't know. People would make more money. Construction workers would make more money.
Yeah, and then everything would cost more for those construction workers also.
Well, I think construction workers are underpaid.
I don't disagree with that, sir. But if you pay construction workers more and then everything around goes up because construction prices went up, then they end up paying more too.
No, I don't. I think it would balance itself out a little bit.
No, what would balance itself out?
It wouldn't all go straight to the people.
No, what would balance itself out is just they would just build less. That's what would happen.
Maybe.
And then they would end up cutting construction workers. More. Yeah, cool. You'd be worth $50 an hour and not have a job.
No, everyone. You're gonna need construction no matter what.
No, sir, you only need construction when it's affordable to do construction, right? You need construction for a new Walmart, right? When it's cost beneficial to build that new Walmart, right? And if that cost of that Walmart to build just tripled, then it's no longer cost effective to build that Walmart. So you just don't build it, right? If the cost of the apartment complex, right, that you're going to go build, the cost of it now makes it where the rent prices would outprice the different things in that area, right? Because of the increase of the amount of money that it costs to build it, then you just don't build the apartment complex. So there's less things to do.
Do you know what the return on investment of Walmarts are anyway? They can afford to pay more.
Sure, just because a company can afford to pay more doesn't mean they will pay more.
If they have to.
They don't have to. They don't have to. That's what I'm saying, sir. They don't have to. None of these companies have to buy anything. They only build when it is cost effective for them to build. It is a supply and demand issue.
Cost effective.
What?
I'm not saying raise it all the way up. I'm saying they should slow down how many are coming through, or maybe fix what's already going on.
Sir, regardless, there's 14 million undocumented immigrants in the United States. They could stop everybody from coming through. It doesn't fix the problem you're talking about.
Well, definitely would open up more jobs and raise the prices on construction.
And then people would build less, like I just described to you.
I don't know. I really don't think it would be as bad as you're saying.
Well, I mean, sir, no offense, but this is literally like economics 101.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm. What about before the immigrants? There wasn't this many immigrants always.
In the United States, there were.
Illegal, undocumented?
We didn't have an idea of illegal or undocumented. For the most of the building of the United States, immigrants just came here, so we didn't have illegal or undocumented. You just showed up on a boat in Ellis Island. They tested you for whatever whooping cough or whatever disease you could have gotten on the boat. You signed a piece of paper and you walked in the door. That's how the Italians got here. That's how the Polish got here, right? And before that, it was just, well, even starting done that, it was just slaves. So, yeah, it wasn't really documented or undocumented. They were just bought and brought over here from Africa. So,
yeah, looking at a chart though, from let's see, when did it start? 1983 all the way to 2015, Center for Michigan Studies of Immigration. It's going straight up the entire time. Every year it increases, and from 2009 to 2017, it jumped up. And they're just at 20. After 2015, it started to go down. But
so what? What does that have to do with your point? You're saying numbers, but sir, you're saying numbers, but none of these numbers have to do with your point. Okay, I know the numbers of undocumented immigrants. I know when it started spiking. I know all of these things. None of this has to do with your point. Your point is that we need to make it where there's no undocumented immigrants in construction so you could get paid more. That's what we're arguing. We're not arguing that. I already told you how many undocumented immigrants are in the country.
Okay, but I'm saying it's getting worse and worse. So something's got to be
It's
done.
always going to get worse and worse. It's always going to get higher. Till you'll be dead. It'll still be going up, okay?
So we'll be over. So you're saying we'll all be overran eventually?
Hopefully, if we have any luck.
What the fuck? All right. Well, that's good enough then.
Sure, only you guys are the ones that are scared of people coming into the country. I'm not scared of people coming into the country. Okay, I do think that we need, sir. I do, sir. I'm talking, sir. I'm talking. Okay, I do think we need to have strong borders. That's not a problem. Donald Trump's not securing the border. Okay, if you look at the number of apprehensions, and look at the number of arrests around in between ports of entry, Donald Trump is lower than every recent president. He's not securing the border. He's just shutting off ports of entry and telling people that are legally here they can't come here, which is decreasing border encounters, which he's claiming is border crossings. Like that's all he's doing, right? He's not securing the border. We're still increasing, undocumented immigrants right now. Still doing it, right? It's still happening right now. It's going to happen next year. It's going to happen the year under that, right? Like after that, like it's not going to change anything. Okay. So, and then as long as we have people coming in on visas, those people on visas are going to overstay their visas. Then it's going to increase the number of undocumented immigrants in this country, right? It's still increasing, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like you're, we're on a certain part, right? And you're like, you keep like jumping off it. Yes, we have an undocumented immigrant problem in this country, right? We have an immigration problem in this country, right? But most of that is based off of our failure to have really good immigration laws and our inability to fund, things like CBP in order to do their job, right? But neither of those things are being fixed by the Trump administration. But none of those things are going to be fixed but none of those things are being fixed by the Trump administration, right? And none of them are going to fix your construction issue.
I just don't think that there was any other people that were pushing as hard for it.
What?
I don't think there was anybody else pushing as hard for border security.
No, there's nobody else running his mouth about border security more. There's tons of people that were better on border security.
Over 2.5 million people, 1.9 million self-deported.
Yes, and that has, sir. Please stop trying to fast Google while you're talking to me, because you're just pulling up shit that you're not reading and you sound dumb when you do it, okay? The last thing you pulled up, you didn't even read the whole thing, okay? Like, see, I don't even need to pull it up. You're reading that from a DHS memo that was pulled by Kristi Noem when she said that 2.5 million people have self-deported, and that's been fact-checked by the American Immigration Council and Cato Institute and the Pew Research Center to be found fraudulent, with the exact number around 100,000 people.
So you don't
stop trying to chat GPT argue me, sir, because you need to actually go study this instead of just Googling points to try to beat me, because you have no context to what they're saying.
So you don't think the deportations have went up since Donald Trump took office?
No, they're actually lower.
They're actually lower.
Yes. According to CBP and ICE data, the Biden administration deported 685,000 people in 2024 and 600,000 in 2025. Donald Trump just talks, okay? He doesn't do anything. No, sir, I'm talking. He doesn't do anything for the American people. He just meow, 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 yappity, 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 yappity. I closed the border. Joe Biden, he couldn't ride a bicycle or eat an ice cream cone, and we had the worst border that you've ever seen, and then I closed the border, and then look at my ballroom, I picked out the curtains myself, and there's a toilet, I put a toilet in my ballroom, and sleepy Joe Biden, drill baby drill. Dude, he's just a walking fucking like meme, dude. He's a walking talking point. There's no substance. There's no policy. He's not fucking doing shit but sending us to fucking war with Iran, okay? Spreading Russian propaganda and building concentration camps in a ballroom.
You're saying that Biden didn't have record-setting legal and illegal immigration?
Yes, of course he did. Why did he have that? Here, how about this? How about this? We'll play a game, okay? When Joe Biden, or when Donald Trump left office his first term, he was at a net negative of job creation of 5 million jobs. Okay?
Yeah.
Yep. Why is that?
Why?
Could you think of a reason?
Letting all those illegal immigrants in?
You think Donald Trump had negative 5 million jobs because he let the illegals in?
Oh, my bad. I thought you said Biden. My bad. Donald Trump, that could have happened because of all the policies that he enacted, all of the tariffs, everything. That he's trying to change things, but obviously it could go downhill for a little bit.
Sir, his first term, he left office in 2021. With negative job creation. Why? How old did you say you were?
Economy fluctuates. It's not always about who's president. The economy does fluctuate.
How old did you say you were?
23.
Holy shit. Okay. You just stop for a second and I'm going to educate you real quick and then we'll move on to the next person, okay?
All right.
All right, cool. He lost the jobs because of COVID. Okay? Because nobody was working because of COVID. Okay? So when nobody was working because of COVID, that's why he was so low on jobs, right? So yes, the numbers say that Donald Trump lost a shit ton of jobs, right? But you need context to that, okay? This is why I don't blame Donald Trump for losing all of those jobs, because it would lack context, right? The context is we were in a worldwide pandemic, all right? We had to shut down, and so therefore that job loss wasn't on him, okay? Then Joe Biden comes in, right? And COVID shuts everything down. We have the destabilization of the Northern Triangle. We have mass migration all across the world, right? And then a whole bunch of fucking immigrants show up at the border and everybody's like, Joe Biden. It's like, okay, yeah, there was a record number, but there's a lot of context to that record number too, okay? On why it happened, why so many people showed up. Okay, the expiration of Title 42. There's a lot of context to why that happened. And yes, some of it was just Biden's fault. Some of it was our lack of laws. Some of it was on Congress. Some of it was on COVID. There was all sorts of reasons why that happened. But just saying, oh, under Biden, there was all this migration just lacks all context. So it doesn't get the full story. Joe Biden can't create migration. Okay, Joe Biden as the president doesn't have the ability to just be like, hey, all of you people from these other countries, move over to the United States. And then everybody like in their farms, like without internet, like on a field in Honduras are like, oh, was that the call of the American president? We got to start walking. Like that's not what happens, man. Like there was mass migration across the world. The United States was not set up to handle it. Okay, we should have handled it better. Congress should have handled it better. Joe Biden should have handled it better. All of those things, okay? But migration didn't happen because of Biden. Biden can only be held responsible for the response of it. We didn't have the Border Patrol in order to freaking stop what was going on then, okay? We just didn't.
I mean, that's all true. I don't really blame the president either. I really don't. I'm not even that political, but at the same time, I just see things from my point of view, you know?
Yeah, and I'm just saying, your point of view needs context. Context is very important when we're talking about point of views, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, you have a good one, okay?
Yeah, you too.
All right. Woo. I got a little exhausting at the end. Y'all make sure you guys hit that follow button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you guys like to support the live, I do have super chats, super stickers, pay links in the bio. Hopefully I get notifications because I didn't get the last notification. Pay links in the bio, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all at Polypolitics. Also, I got the swans going on as a little gift goal over here for TikTok gifts. I might actually hit level C1, which I heard is cool. If I get something over here. So if you guys like to help support and help me over there, we're trying to get to that. I'd really, really appreciate it. Or in the super chats. Scott said he had a really smelly Trump fart. He also said he's sober tonight. So that's good, Scott. He also asked if I could translate American to Canadian. That actually is quite difficult. So, yeah. It actually can be very hard. I don't know about that. Shush, thank you so much for the $5. Said Polly, make sure to never acknowledge a username named Hi. Who's that? Sounds weird. I don't like it. Tati and Hoodie Girl, thank you so much for the swans. Oh my god, let's see if we can clear this out. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the swans. Verillion, thank you so much for the $5. Said caller claiming that they're taking his job as he works the job that he claims to be taken. You know, that's a really good point, and I did not bring it up. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Verillion made a very good point. He was complaining about the immigrants taking the job that he currently has. Thank you so much, really, and I appreciate that. That was a great point. I mean, no lies detected. Scott says now thinks that Trump it's okay to shit yourself, and he plans to do that tonight. Scott, I mean. AWT, thank you so much for the $5 said, for accountability for everyone in Washington. Yes, 100%. Everybody there. They all need it. 100%. And Sad, thank you so much for the $2 said, why do you continue to try to teach monkeys chess? It would be so much easier to teach monkeys chess. Are you kidding me? It would be so much easier to teach monkeys chess. I should change jobs. Like I change career paths. I'm gonna start teaching monkeys chess instead. Thank you much, Headstrong and Zachary too. I appreciate that. It'd be so much easier. Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Dad?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing great.
Awesome. How old are you?
14.
Police are coming to get you. It's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Hey, listen, man, I just want to say real quick. Did you see the news about Donald Trump saying that he cannot afford to pay for Medicaid or Social Security and that the states have to do it themselves because the American government is too busy fighting a war?
Yes.
That's
I did see
amazing.
that. You know, here's the... It's so bad. So I watch so many politics, and yeah, it is completely against the law, and because it's, you know, discretionary versus non-discretionary funding. Not that Donald Trump understands that, right? Like, not that Donald Trump understands
Correct.
the difference in the funding streams that, you know, that the government uses, but regardless of any of that, right? The sad part is like I saw it. And with all the stuff that I watch for politics, I saw it and I was just like, I just kind of I just kind of kept going with my day. It like wasn't even the craziest shit that I had read that day. Like, I don't even think my brain didn't even process it as something I should be worried about, because it was just like, oh, there, like, yep, Trump just said something
The
dumb.
usual.
Yep, just normal Tuesday or whenever he said it, you know, just whatever. But yes, I did see it.
It's very strange, and I wonder how the American people, like you said, most people went along with their day like it's just Trump being Trump. But he's very serious about that.
He doesn't know what he's serious about because he doesn't know anything, because he's an idiot. He only knows what frickin' J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio and the Heritage Foundation tell him. That's all he knows. He goes in the Situation Room and frickin' Pete Hegseth's like, we're gonna bomb something. And he's like, hey. And then he like, my ballroom. All he cares about is that fucking ballroom. That's all he cares about.
For real.
That's all he cares about.
He's bored with the war.
Like, literally all I want, like how the judge kind of like put a little halt to the ballroom a little bit, right? And he's trying to find loopholes. I hope the judges just keep doing that, so he's so concentrated on the fucking ballroom that he forgets all about the rest of this shit and just keeps moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope they just keep like barely tying him up in court. So like
that
he's just
so cool.
Just so he's just like, because he's just like squirrel, and then he just doesn't pay attention. But anyways, I'm gonna move on to the next caller, man. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good one, right?
Thanks, man.
All right, let's keep this thing going. Appreciate you guys.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, is this the YouTube guy?
Yes, that is the name on my birth certificate.
Oh. Okay, well, can I say something?
How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
185. What'd you say?
That's not impressive. And what year were you born?
I was born 2007. Why?
Okay. Is that right?
So my question was, why do you think Trump is a bad dude? Go on.
What do I think Trump is what?
A bad guy. Like, why do you think he's bad?
Well, he's a felon and a rapist. That's a good start.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm done with here. He didn't say 1985. He said, I bench 185. That's what he said. He said, I bench 185. And I said, that's not impressive.
Hang up. I don't get it. Hello?
Very same dude. Yeah, that's not impressive, bro. I warm up 185. I don't even put my feet on the ground, and I'm not even in good shape anymore. Okay? That's my warm up with feet on the bench, and I'm not even in good shape anymore. All right? I was doing warm up sets of that on Tuesday. All right? What if he's like 120 pounds? Okay. Like, it's impressive if you're 120 pounds, but still not so impressive that that's the first thing you say to someone when you're like, how old are you? Like, if I see anyone in the gym benching like 185, like especially that are small, like, dude, more power to you. That's amazing. If I say, hey, how are you? And he's like, I'm 18 and I bench 185, that's not good. Like, you shouldn't be coming forward with that, trying to brag about it. All right? That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're just volunteering the information, it should be higher than that. You know what I'm saying? I was saying, if it's just like, hi, how old are you? I'm 18 and bench 185. Like, what? No one asked you, bro. No one asked you. Hello? All right. I'm just saying, no one asked you. You gotta... Hoodie Girl, thank you so much for the swan. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm trying to... There's a person calling me, but I'm not seeing it ring for them. Oh, there it is. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How old are you?
I'm 28 years old.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Why is that?
Well, I mean, for a variety of reasons, but I first off wanted to, kind of go over some of the things you talked about the last guy with that disagreed with you, which he was on the right track, but I don't think he really understood the full scope. And what I mean by that is talking about illegal workers in construction, for example. If you don't pay the lower wages and you pay the higher wages to American workers, yeah, it's pennies that don't go to other countries, but it's also, you're missing the back half of it where those people use that additional money that they're making and reinvest it into the economy, where they increase their spending. Is a whole thing of spending power that now gets increased that I guess, I don't know if it was purposely looked over or if it was just simply missed.
I'm sorry. What I mean, it makes it. I think I understand what your point is. But I don't understand what side of it you're taking. Like, I understand that your argument is about money being re-put in the United States system in order to recirculate through our economy. I understand that. What's your point, though?
Your point was
no, not my point. I know what my point is. I'm wondering what your point is.
No. Well, I'll get there, but your point was that the American economy will take a hit because we're not going to be building and so on, but that's not entirely true because the economy is not taking a hit, it's just getting moved.
I didn't say the economy was going to take a hit. I was saying that things will be more expensive to build, and so therefore supply and demand would dictate that less things would be built.
And that's a speculation, but it's not necessarily true. People who are in construction now making more money may start their own businesses.
Right, sir. They can all start their own businesses, but they're going to start businesses, and then those businesses aren't going to have enough fucking workers. And regardless of that, if we're going to have a $500,000 worker shortage when it comes to undocumented immigrants, which is what that guy's study pulled up, if we have a 500,000 worker shortage from undocumented immigrants to the United States, there's just simply not as many things that can get built. It's not possible.
Sure.
So therefore, if less things are getting built, that means that there's
things are going to get built.
Sure.
Sorry,
So if there's less things getting built, there's more of a demand for building, right? There's more of a demand for construction. If there's more of a demand for construction, the cost of construction goes up. If the cost of construction goes up, regardless of the increase in wages for construction workers, regardless, this is without even increasing the wages, right? If the demand for construction goes up, the price of construction goes up too. When the price of construction goes up to a point where it outpaces the cost effectiveness of building that building, then buildings don't get built. And then the amount of construction lowers and then rates go down. Now you add in their increased rates, right? You go from somebody making, U.S. citizens maybe making, we'll say $20 an hour to $50 an hour, like last guess suspected, right? Or last guess projected, right? Now you do that on top of the increase for construction. Now what I am saying is the price is going to rise. And now maybe an apartment building that would have been built, right? Like say there's an apartment building, and right, it was going to cost $500,000, or well, sorry, that's a bad example. We'll say a decent one, right? We'll say it was a $5 million apartment building, right? Nothing huge, but something decent, right? They were going to pay $5 million for this apartment building, right? And due to that, in order to pay off their debt, then everybody in this apartment building was going to pay $1,200 in rent, right? Okay, cool. Well, now based off of the demand, right, and the worker cost increase, now that $5 million is now $8 million to build that apartment building, right? Now that $1,200 that they were going to charge for rent now goes up to $1,500. And now that $1,500 is over the price that is standard for the market in that area. So now it doesn't make it cost effective.
Are you saying they're not going to build then?
Correct. If it's not cost effective to build it, then they just won't build it.
They're still going to take out the loan, and they're still going to make their money. The ROI is just going to take longer.
Well, first of all, you're assuming that they're even going to get the loan at that cost, because I don't know a bank that would give them that. $5 million versus $8 million. I don't think. Sir, I'm making a very general I'm making a very general thing with the numbers, sir. You want to call it 200 million or 500 million and 800 million? Would that make it easier for you? I was just trying to make it simple.
It's not the numbers here. We're talking about commercial real estate. People are going to be taking out loans and they're going to be building anyway, and it's temporary pain with labor maybe be doubling.
Sir, you think that people take out loans, sir? What you're arguing right now? This is what you're arguing. That labor costs, that labor costs and production costs have no factor whatsoever into somebody building something. That is the argument that you're arguing. That is what you're arguing. That is what you're arguing. Because I am literally explaining. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because I am literally trying to explain to you how labor costs and the cost of commercial real estate going up, okay, would affect whether somebody builds it or not. And you're saying, nope, it would have no effect. They would just build it anyway. That's literally what you just said.
That is what I'm saying. Yes,
so you're saying that the cost of construction would have no effect on commercial real estate. That's what you're saying.
You're also saying that the price of the real estate is going from 5 to 8 million for your quote unquote simple example. That is astronomical. Labor to build something is not almost doubling the cost of the project. That's ridiculous.
So you think, right? You think
it's not what I think. That's the numbers. It's not
no. Sir, you don't know what the numbers are. These numbers are hypothetical. These numbers are hypothetical. What are you talking about? You know the numbers that don't exist? You know the numbers of the numbers I just made up without putting any thought into it whatsoever.
You're overemphasizing how much the labor costs.
No, I'm not.
Are actually taking a toll on the decision.
You're underestimating how much the cost of labor cost of construction would go if we literally lost 15-20% of our construction labor force.
But we wouldn't lose it if we increased the rate. Like that guy said, the last guy said, he's going to get, there's more people that will come into the labor force. You know how many people are out here making $15 an hour? You say they can go work in construction and make 45?
Sir, there are literally like 8 million plus.
There's no shortage anymore.
Sir, there's 8 million plus open jobs right now in the United States that are a lot easier and pay just as much as what you're talking about, and nobody's taking them. The problem is right now, sir, is when Trump took office, we had about 7 million open jobs in the United States and about 7 million unemployed people in the United States. It was about even. It's not a matter of people coming over to do things. It's a matter of it not existing. And if you're going to say that people are going to come from other jobs to go now do construction, then you're causing an entirely different problem and an entire ripple effect to which we are now losing people from all sorts of industries, right? In which to feed the construction industry, and therefore that causes the exact opposite problem. So now maybe you were going to build a mall, but now retail people don't exist because all those retail people now went to work construction. That's not going to happen. Retail people aren't going to do that. But you're causing a ripple effect. Those jobs have to be empty somewhere. All right, those jobs have to be empty somewhere. If you lose 20% of the labor force, those jobs have to be empty someplace. And they're more likely to be empty in construction because Americans are fucking bougie, right? And Americans like their office jobs, and Americans like their air conditioning, and they like their fucking tech jobs, and they like their remote work, right? And they like, that's why we pay a lot of immigrants to do stuff like that, because people don't want to do it, right? The reason why so many immigrants work in, all right, I'll just mute you, that's fine. The reason why immigrants work in construction is not because that's just where they end up. It's because it's the place that Americans don't want to work. They work in places where Americans don't want to work, and they fill in those gaps, right? They go to the Central Valley of California and work in agricultural fields because people don't want to work there, right? It's not just labor costs. People don't want to work there. They go and they clean hotels, not because other people can't clean hotels. It's because nobody wants to go do that, right? And you suspecting that just because we kick immigrants out, that all of a sudden people that could easily go get construction jobs right now don't go get construction, are just going to start wanting to do construction jobs is a joke, dude. You would just end up with a construction shortage. You wouldn't end up with we're literally in a construction shortage right now, even with the undocumented immigrants here. And you're projecting that all off the fact that friggin' Donald Trump would somehow deport 14 million immigrants, which at this pace would take him like 50 years or something. So it's just not happening, man.
I mean, all right. Well, I mean, you're also talking about, I mean, we can move on. We're just going to disagree, I guess, on that. But border security, I think it's outrageous that you think he's just talking about it and he didn't actually make moves.
What moves did he make?
He actually secured the border.
How?
Apprehensions are down.
No, how?
And the numbers are all down.
No, how?
Because he actually closed the border.
How?
Through executive order. And in
his executive order that did what?
Executive order through ICE actually being enabled to do their jobs.
Yeah. So who protects the border?
Sorry. What'd you say?
Who protects the border?
ICE.
Wrong.
What do you mean who protects the border then? From what?
From undocumented immigrants. Who protects the border?
Educate me.
Answer the question.
I don't know the answer you're looking for.
No, it's the answer. It's not an answer I'm looking for. The answer. Who is tasked with protecting the southern border or any other border from undocumented immigrants in the United States? What organization? It's not ICE.
Is it when they come in? Is it
protecting the border? Sir, I don't know how protecting the border can get any more specific.
So are you telling me that people who are driving across the border from Mexico who have to show their passport, it's not ICE sitting at those booths?
Correct. It is not.
I'm not sure then.
Oh, okay. Well, just to let you know, sir, we're gonna might have a real time in this conversation if we don't get that far. But it is CBP, Customs and Border Protection. Customs and Border Protection are the people that protect our borders. That is their job. Then mixed with the Coast Guard, who does it on the water side of things, right? The Coast Guard does most of the water border protection. But as far as land borders, that is Customs and Border Protection. Okay, so him funding ICE does nothing to protect our borders.
I would disagree, because after they're in the country, ICE is the one that's going around to find them, to deport them. So
that'd be like saying I'm protecting my boat from filling up with water by bucketing the water out of the boat afterwards.
Well, if the water's there, you have to get it out somehow.
That's
right?
not what I'm asking you, sir. That's not what I'm asking you, sir. Am I stopping water from entering my boat by bucketing water that's already in there?
I'm just trying to understand your.
It's a
reference.
simple
you're
question, sir.
saying that
Am I
we're
if I have a
detaining people and they're just
hole,
sitting in
sir,
jail?
if I have a hole in my boat and water is dumping into the boat, okay, and I'm with a bucket trying to bucket that water out of the boat as fast as I can. Listen to my statement and maybe you can answer it, okay? And I'm bucketing the water out of the boat as fast as I can, okay? Am I stopping water from entering the boat?
I mean, the rate will change, but not entirely.
No, the rate will not change at all. The water will still keep coming in just as fast. It's just how fast I can bucket it out. ICE's job is the bucket. Okay, Border Patrol is the patch you put on the boat to stop the water from coming in to begin with. Okay, that's their job. All right. So Donald Trump funding ICE does not stop people from coming into the country. Okay, the only thing that Donald Trump did through executive action to, and I put this in huge parentheses, close the border. Okay, close the border with huge parentheses. Was he shut off legal ports of entry from anybody entering. Okay? If you were an asylum seeker coming here legally, he shut you off. Okay? If you were trying to come here under certain visas, he shut you off.
Right.
Okay.
So if you put a Band-Aid over the hole and you slow the bleeding, you can bail the water out a lot faster, can't you?
Yes, except for the problem is that he shut off legal migration.
To get rid of illegals that were already in the country, it's a temporary stop.
So you stopped a hole that didn't exist in order to stop the hole that does exist? Sir, the people that are coming from non-ports of entry that are still sneaking around the Border Patrol, they're still doing that. The undocumented people, the cartel members, all of those people, they're still doing that. That didn't stop.
Right, and wouldn't you agree that those people have to be encountered by ICE and not Customs and Border Patrol?
Nope, they literally have to be stopped by Customs and Border Patrol. That's literally their fucking job. Literally, Customs and Border Protection's job is that. That's literally their fucking job.
But what you just said is they're going around the ports of entry.
Yes, sir, because Donald Trump is not putting Customs and Border Protection because Donald Trump is not putting Customs and Border Protection agents there to stop them. Because he's funding ICE because he's funding
and they know who they're going after.
Sir. So this is your let me get this straight. This is your theory. Just to be clear. You're saying Donald Trump could have put money to make sure that people didn't come in, but it's much better to just let them sneak in and then spend money to get them out later.
I don't think that's at all what I said.
That's exactly what you're saying. You're saying, isn't it better that they just encounter ICE than encounter Customs and Border Protection? That's literally what you just said.
No, buddy.
Yes, buddy. I can hear you. I have these really awesome headphones. They stick right in my ears. Buddy, that's exactly what you fucking said. Buddy, maybe you should make better arguments if you don't want your arguments repeated back to you and sound stupid.
It's not my argument.
It is your argument. Everyone hearing you, literally my chat is blowing up saying, literally, that's exactly what he said. Literally, it's blowing up right now saying that.
Can I speak with one thought without you interrupting?
I would prefer you spoke with one thought at any point during this conversation. But yes, if you'd like to start now, I have no problem with that.
Thank you. I would like to go uninterrupted for a second. So if the Customs and Border Patrol are sitting at the booth, and we both agree that the illegal immigrants who are coming in, gang members, etc., are not going to the ports of entry, then there's no point in funding Customs and Border Patrol because they don't need the additional help. When you have the illegals coming across the border through non-ports of entry, that would fall on ICE's responsibility to get them out.
No, it fucking doesn't. No, it doesn't. The entire border is Customs and Border Protection's jurisdiction, not just the ports of entry, not just the little booths. The entire border is Custom and Border Protection's jurisdiction. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not the Customs and Border Protection agents in the little booths and ICE everywhere else. It's the Customs and Border Protection's job across the entire border, whether it's a port of entry, whether it's a non-port of entry, does not fucking matter. That is their job to patrol. ICE's job is to find people who have already entered, who are already living in the United States or residing in the United States. That is their job once they're already in. If they are on the federal border in any spot, that is Custom and Border Protection's job.
I agree with you. What I'm saying is the people who are coming in illegally are already in the country. So we're not being met at the border. We're being met inside the country. AKA
so you're agreeing he
ICE.
didn't close the border then? Then you're agreeing he didn't close the border. That's what you're literally agreeing to me on. You're agreeing that Donald Trump did not close the border and that he is only concentrated on getting people out and has done nothing on the border. Because if that's your argument, then I 100% agree with you. 1000%. Donald Trump has done nothing to secure the fucking border, but he is overly hyper-focused on getting people that were already here out.
Sure, I agree with that to a degree. He hasn't increased funding for border control who patrol the border. Agreed. What he has done is that hasn't changed though. Legal immigration, they're still trying to come to the port of entry and to seek asylum. That's totally fine. And if people were actually if the quote unquote illegals were coming in and trying to seek asylum, then they would need the additional help, and we would need to fund them as well. But that's not what's happening. So these illegals are coming in, they're already in the country,
insane, sir.
Especially from when Biden on his day one removed executive orders that were actually good, such as remain in Mexico.
What did the remain in Mexico policy do?
I didn't hear you. You cut out.
What did the remain in Mexico policy do?
It kept people who were seeking asylum in Mexico.
So it stopped legal migration.
Right.
So you're complaining about undocumented migrants and saying that Biden removed restrictions on legal migrants.
It's not legal migrants. It's people seeking asylum, which is legal, but they are not granted access.
Yes, they are. 8 U.S. Code 1158.
They are not.
8 U.S. Code 1158. They literally are.
They're granted access if allowed by customs. If they're not allowed
correct,
access,
sir, and back. Donald Trump stopped them from being allowed by customs.
The difference is, so now the difference is you have people who are legal, who are coming to the border, which is totally fine. They can come and say, hey, I'm seeking asylum. They can either get A, turned away, or B, accepted. Be accepted, cool, they're legal. If they don't get accepted, they're illegal. But the difference is Trump's policy was remain in Mexico. So if we said no, or we don't have an answer for you yet, you need to stay in Mexico until we do have that answer for you, that was fine. But what was
the point of asylum
on day one from Biden was you can stay here in the United States.
You don't understand any of this, sir. What's the point of asylum?
What?
What's the point of asylum?
What is the point of asylum?
Mm-hmm.
For people who are in tough circumstances in their own country.
People who are in fear in their lives and being persecuted. Okay. What the Remain in Mexico did.
Right.
Hold on. Nope. I'm going to explain it to you because you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm going to attempt to edit. Sir, I know if you're quiet for 2 seconds, you might accidentally learn something, but I am going to need you to be quiet so I can explain this to you because it's going to destroy your entire.
Go on.
You're what?
I'm getting less intelligent talking to you, but please.
Sir, you can't get less intelligence than the stupidest person I've talked to today.
I haven't insulted you once. There's no need
And
for
I
that.
am
Go on.
insulting you once. Shut the fuck up while I'm talking.
I can say you're a liar because.
All right. So let me explain to you how the Remain in Mexico policy works because you don't fucking know. So again, shut the fuck up because while you might not have any will whatsoever to actually learn something past whatever your fucking podcast or Fox News told you, there are quite a few people talking who would actually like to be more intelligent than a fucking rock. Okay? So I'm going to explain it to them so they can fucking listen. All right? Sound good? Perfect. I don't care what you think. Regardless, okay, what the Remain in Mexico policy said is, hey, if you're being persecuted and you're in fear for your life, then you need to stay exactly where you are, even though there's evidence of you being in fear, evidence of you being persecuted, evidence of there being fear of your life. You need to stay exactly where you are until your court case can go through about 5 years from now. So I say that to ask you a question, sir. If you're in desperate need of you're in persecution or desperate fear of your life, into a point where you have to seek asylum, what the fuck is the point of seeking asylum if you have to stay in the horrible spot you're at for 5 years?
Because you're assuming they're staying in the same spot where they're fearing for their life. You're assuming everybody coming across the border is coming from Mexico, which they are not.
Actually, the Remain in Mexico policy actually was just called that. It actually had nothing to do with Mexico. It actually specifically said that you were staying in the country from which you applied for asylum. So if you applied in Honduras, you got left in Honduras. If you applied in Guatemala, you got left in Guatemala. If you applied in freaking Venezuela, you got left in Venezuela. Fox News just called it the Remain in Mexico policy because Donald Trump likes little quips. It actually had nothing to do with Mexico. But again, you didn't read the policy because you don't know what you're talking about and you're trying to claim that you know what you're talking about. That's why I'm trying to educate you and you won't fucking listen, but you never read the fucking policy.
No, they were just returned to Mexico. They weren't.
Shut the fuck up, dude. You have no idea what you're talking about. Holy shit. You've never read the policy. You have no idea what you're talking about. Okay? Legitimately, dude. Seriously, when people used to say like, I wish I had the confidence of a mediocre white man, like I never used to know what they meant. And it's this guy, right? This guy who's done no research, has no idea what he's talking about, right? Never read the policy, probably never read a policy in his entire fucking life. All right? I explained the policy to him so that he can learn, so he can get better as a human being. And his entire freaking comeback to me explaining it to him in depth is, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. That's all he's got. That's literally all he's got is, nuh-uh. I don't know what I'm talking about, but nuh-uh. Like, bro, like, at least, dude, you could have, whatever, right when grok, you could have grokked this in 2 seconds before you got on this live and learned that everything I'm saying is true. We can't even get to a disagreement about the policy because you don't know the policy. That's the sad part. I wish we could get to a part where we could disagree on the policy, but you don't even know what the policy is. So it's literally impossible for you to argue your opinion on the policy because you don't know it. That's what's sad. I wish I could get somebody like you. I wish I could get somebody like you to just be like, hey man, like, you know what? Like, I want to argue with you because I have different opinions on stuff. So I'm actually going to go read and research and learn about it before arguing it instead of just coming up here and just fucking not knowing anything, dude.
Are you done? Am I muted?
Unfortunately, no, but I think I'm just going to hang up with the phone with you because literally, like,
yeah,
what would you say you were?
Too if I were you and I was losing. What I'm saying is I'm trying to.
Anyways, you're dude, guy, if you have to say that you're winning, just let you know. And I tell people all the time this, okay? If you have to say that you're winning something, you're not winning it, okay? Not one time. I do this 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. Not once do I ever have to say I'm winning. Not once. Never have to say it. I never have to say I'm winning. I never have to say you're losing. I never have to do that, okay? Because I just let my argument, okay? I let my argument decide who's winning and losing. The people that are listening know who's winning and losing. They just have to listen. Okay? But people like that are like, oh, I'll just say I'm winning at the end and then I'm winning, right? Like, bro, how about you just make your argument? All right? Fucking shit, dude. Fucking sad. Sad service. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Sad Serve says, born in 1973, still benching 275, retired. FDNY, Fire Department, New York. Well, I say thank you to your service for all the military people out there, but also thank you for your service. New York Fire Department, that's absolutely huge. And still benching, so that makes you, holy shit, 73, I guess depending on which month. Makes you, what, 52? Benching 275? Man, I wish I'd still be able to be benching 275. I can probably barely bench 275 right now, to be honest with you. I can probably barely do 275 right now. So that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. I'll give it to you. Thank you for your service, sir. Really appreciate that. Or ma'am. Sorry, I said sir. I don't know. Ma'am, sir, whoever, whichever. Thank you for your service. I appreciate that. Electric and hot dog and Tati and hoodie. Thank you guys so much for the swans. We got like 4 of the 7. That's not bad. I love you, Polly, but you ain't bitching 275. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Do I need to start sending videos? Is that what I need to do? All right. I don't really max anymore, but I don't really max anymore. But I did let's see, I did 3 reps or 3 sets of 2. I lifted chest on yesterday. I did 3 sets of 225, 885. I think it was 885. I'm pretty sure if I can do 885 at 225, I can lift 275 for 1. I'm not saying I can rep it. I'm just saying I think I could lift it. All right. I think I could lift it. The last max I did was around 280, 285. So again, I don't max lift anymore. I have a torn labrum and a torn rotator cuff. I'll send you me doing 225 all day. I'll send you repping 225, but I'll end up in the hospital. It ain't worth it. Anyways, y'all, what was I going to do? No, I can't do. I used to do 315, but I can't do. Like I literally, I'm too injured. I'm too old and too injured. I said I could do it. I didn't say I was going to do it. Those are 2 completely different things. I said I could do it. Just because I could do something doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Dude, bro, I am almost 40. I don't ego lift anymore. All right? I don't ego lift anymore. That's some young people shit, dude. Okay? No, I said I was doing 225 for reps. I'll send you videos of that. I am not tearing my rotator cuff more to please you. Sorry. I am too old. All right? You can go ahead and believe whatever you want. I ain't ego lifting the fucking and tearing more shit. Dude, I have a separated, separated bicep ligament in this shoulder. And then I have a partially torn something back here. I don't know. I went and saw orthopedics. They just put 3 shots in my shoulders. They hurt, but my shoulders feel a lot better, actually. They do. Truthfully. Hey, some of y'all are more beast than me, all right? That's fine. I'm okay. Joseph, thank you so much for the $5. And Paulie, some callers seem unaware that economics is actually a science and aspects of it. Lump of labor fallacy may feel counterintuitive. They may be mistaking what you say for mere opinion when in reality it's sound economics. Making them aware of that might help. That's actually a big problem I have with a lot of things. W's in the chat for Joseph for that $5. They actually have a lot of things. They confuse a lot of the things. They confuse a lot of the things that I do But a lot of things I'm saying with like just my opinion on things. Like I think I make it pretty clear when I'm talking about things, where I'm talking about my opinion or I'm talking about, you know, just facts of things. I try to make that pretty clear because I do talk about both, and maybe sometimes I interweave them into the conversation where maybe it's a little more difficult to tell. I don't mean to. But again, like if they had taken any of those, like if they had taken any economics class or studied in any economics, they would know that. And if they haven't done that, it probably sounds crazy to them too. So ipso facto, I don't know any way they can go. Crush a beer can with your inner elbow fold. With your inner, this? Crush a beer can. Like a full beer can? That sounds painful. That sounds painful. I'm not doing that. Plus, that sounds like a waste of good beer. Anyways, I'm out for the night, y'all. Love you guys. I'll be back on Sunday unless I decide to do a surprise one sometime the next 2 days. But I'm not scheduled again until Sunday night, so I probably won't see you till then. But if I don't, love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys later, all right? Bye.